while driving down a macabre road searching for souls, this paranormal team found one. Published by Thiago Furacão in May of 2022, a mysterious man made a cameo in their search, and it was a memorable one. Using a spirit box, Thiago tries to communicate with the paranormal while they drive down the creepy road between cornfields. When he asks if the spirit is there, he is answered.
Dela Thaís. Isso que falou? Não, né?
Não, acho que não. Escutei, não. Ai, que coisa.
But creepier than even the spirit is when they encounter this, a mysterious man is standing frozen in the road ahead and he doesn't move. Thiago gets out of the vehicle to approach him. When he does, the man changes his posture.
Thiago! Ai, meu Deus!
Thiago races back to the car, and when the camera turns back to the road, the mysterious man has disappeared. Was this man the spirit they were communicating with? Or is there even more to fear with the living? This mysterious footage was captured on camera by videographer Daniel Hobbit back in 1989, shared by YouTube channel This Is The End. The mystery continues. Watch for the black mass. You can't miss it. Invited to a haunted home by a frightened couple who live there, Hobbit captured this strange shadow figure in one corner of the room.
Video in the home of a very frightened couple, convinced they were living with a disturbed...
While panning the camera, Hobbit also captured this in the mirror.
Hobbit even caught the apparition reflected in a mirror. This shot persuades many top researchers that we are witnessing a real...
According to the channel, the family moved from this home soon after. The footage has convinced some YouTubers of paranormal activity, and others have even experienced something similar. Given that this was recorded on VHS at a time where CGI would have been rare, I'm sold that this is real paranormal activity captured on camera. What do you think? A YouTuber named Julie G797 was watching live BBC News coverage of a workers' strike in Hong Kong when he catches what seems to be undeniable evidence of a UFO.
There you go. Look at that. Descending on the top of that building.
The mysterious green light hangs around the top of a building for only moments before shooting straight up into the sky. This footage was taken directly from the television screen and seems very hard, if not impossible, to fake. Right now, people are mostly debating if the light is too big to be a quadcopter drone. I guess it could be a drone, but if not, I think this very well may be a legitimate alien UFO sighting. A creepy figure was spotted at an old villa near a graveyard. Published by Scary and Mysterious Stuff in April of 2022. What would you do if you encountered this figure in the night? Walking past the graveyard, the cameraman enters the grounds of a villa that is said to have been abandoned 2 decades ago. After the sudden passings of 3 family members, villagers claim to hear sounds emanating from the place at night. Rumors of dark magic cast in the area also make these grounds forbidden. As he's exploring them anyway, he captures a shadow figure walking off. He walks after him but doesn't see anyone. Later, he hears crying. When he opens the door, he finds this holy terror. Can he escape it, or will this sound always be with him? I think this is the type of event that buries deep in the psyche. A YouTuber named Spider Reed doesn't really believe in Bloody Mary and decides to take the mirror challenge at 3 a.m. He spins around 3 times while saying her name. Immediately afterwards, he gets a very distant look and goes down. Spider-Ree doesn't move from the ground for over 1 full minute. When he finally gets to his feet again, he hardly looks the same as before. He slowly turns around and leaves the room in a dreamlike state with his eyes still closed. If this is a true possession, then exactly how long he stayed possessed for, or what happened next is unclear. You have phantom coworkers? Well, you're not the only one. Published by David Condley in February of 2017, this security footage was captured at around 5 in the morning. The video doesn't identify the workplace, but the footage shows a reception area, perhaps of a hotel. A man is sitting at the front desk on a computer when this happens. Maybe it's just a breeze, or so you would think. As the man stares at the piece of paper perplexed, a tree in the corner of the room starts to shake. This prompts the man to jump to his feet in shock. Spooky noise ensues, and this creepy combination sends the man leaping over the counter and fleeing this haunted place. Are his coworkers playing a trick on him? Or are his coworkers ghosts? Either way, he might want to start checking the job ads. When a YouTuber named Dre Nation is walking home at 3 a.m. in his native country of Jamaica, he begins to worry about what could happen to him at such a late hour, so he starts recording a video to make himself feel safer. The road he is on is not well lit at all except for the occasional street lamp, and most of the video is nothing but darkness. Few people are up to any good at this hour, and every passing car fills him with dread. After marching through the night for some time, Dre senses something watching him from afar. He spins around and thinks he sees something, though I don't think it shows up on camera. Let me know if you see something under the street lamps in the distance.
So where I come from the... What's that?
Soon he hears a pack of stray dogs barking from far away.
I'm so f***ing scared.
It sounds like they are gaining on him, but it's impossible to tell how many of them there are, or how close they are because he is now fleeing down the darkest part of the road. He doesn't want to trip over something and snap an ankle while running full speed in the pitch black night, so he isn't fast enough and eventually they catch up with him. Thankfully, the dogs turn out to be too small to do much of anything, but that doesn't stop them from giving him an awful fright. He eventually composes himself and completes the rest of the way home. A YouTuber named Frosty Flakes is searching for elk in the woods of Imnaha, Oregon, when his elk whistle attracts a pack of hungry wolves. Soon they find themselves surrounded and have to step carefully. They are way outnumbered and the wolves sound very close by, ferocious and closing in fast.
Wolves are exactly on opposite sides of us.
Every time they stop to gain a sense of direction, they can hear the wolves combing through the area where they just were. And I think this is where the pack decides not to pursue any further and lets them off with a warning howl. They sound close enough to charge the entire time, yet hidden so well in their surroundings that you would never know where to even look until it was already too late. Timothy Bartlett is exploring a water park that's haunted by a former guest named Billy.
Hi, is anybody here? Hi, Billy. I'm here.
Things are about to get real creepy real fast. Watch.
Could you move something again for me? Oh. Holy sh**.
A chair moves on its own accord upon Timothy's request for Billy the Ghost to move an object and prove himself to be real. Paranormal activity is possible, but the low quality resolution could easily hide a string if there was one. This was not done on purpose as the resolution is average quality for a 2012 phone camera video, so maybe it's real. The G Team Paranormal is visiting this creepy cemetery at midnight. They say it's known for its shadows and other paranormal activity. Let's see what they captured. One of their paranormal devices goes off right away.
Did you see that?
It lit up all colors.
Red.
Yeah. Can you hold it on red then?
It says hate.
Another is triggered as they wait in the darkness.
Yeah, it did. Oh, there it goes again. It heard you.
Then a series of events occurs.
There was something that was just glowing right over there, guys. I don't know what the that was.
Whoa, something just flew and landed in this tree.
What?
Really?
Happiness. I swear something just landed in this tree. It's landed at the bottom of the tree. Oh, it says happiness, death.
Death?
What?
Well, we're in a cemetery.
Again, a device goes off. And amongst the creepiest of their captures, they film what looks like a tall, dark shadow. Later, a Connect reveals the spirits holding hands with one of the team.
What's going on, guys?
Watch, she puts his hands in her hands.
Oh my.
Yo, he's gone. Horses.
Oh, there
yeah,
he
there he
is.
is.
Oh my. Look at that.
Watch, look, he's grabbing her hand. Look.
He's still doing it?
Yeah.
Oh my.
The shadow and this Connect energy are it for me. The spirits are lively in this cemetery. While exploring the Royal Arcade in Keighley in the UK, the YouTube team Staffordshire Paranormal Explorers encounters an abundance of paranormal activity. As they communicate with the spirits, they hear what sounds like a door moving.
We heard a dragging noise in here before, or possible footstep shuffling.
What was that?
They hear unexplained taps and knocks.
Got two knocks.
Yeah. It was like dun dun.
As they continue throughout the place, a disembodied whistle or whisper is heard.
Okay, spirits, we know you're here with us now.
And not long after, two thuds are heard.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Later, a distinct whistle sounds.
Heard a whistle then.
In my opinion, this place is creepy enough without all the whispers and whistles, but the paranormal activity really puts it over the edge. Theme parks are supposed to be fun and games, not the thing nightmares are made of. This Mr. Blobby theme park is a whole other story. Chugging along in the 90s, you may or may not recall this yellow and pink blob. Crinkly Bottom was Noel Edmonds' series of theme parks that popped up in England during the show's success, with one in Somerset, another in the north of England, and others scattered around the country, none of which lasted long. Why? Well, watch this video and you'll see. Not only were people unimpressed with the park's puppet shows and Blobby's kitschy catchphrases, Blobby's done blobbin' home is like walking through an uncanny nightmare. The seriously disturbing park, marketed as a children's attraction, is more like a scene from a horror film. With distorted audio, Blobby welcomes you, but who wants to be welcomed to this chilling park? The theme of this park must have been, "We will haunt your dreams." Footage from this frightening theme park will leave you reeling, and not in a good way. This slow motion video captures a man peeling around a corner as fast as he can, and soon you see exactly what has him moving so fast. A gigantic cheetah literally bounces off the wall in pursuit. The video ends before we exactly get to see what happens next. Maybe this cheetah really did come in straight from the jungle, or maybe it was kept as a household pet until one day it simply snapped. Whatever the case may be, I doubt it ended well for the person running away. Then again, I have no idea why he would just happen to have a camera set up to catch this event perfectly, so maybe it was scripted after all. Let me know what you think is going on here, and also tell me if you have any more background information that can help us put this video in better context. Get out. published by Ratatat MC channel in October of 2021 and originally posted to Twitter by @HAYATIJTS. This is the creepiest witch who ever appeared on camera. The video shows an old woman in tattered clothing with long gray hair moaning on the ground of her shack. Her face is what's so scary about this. You can't make out any features but a great gash for a mouth.
Bang Anton, jangan terlalu dekat Bang Anton, mundur Bang Anton.
As this brave woman steps away, the witch springs out from her shack, crouched down low. She crawls creepily on all fours across the ground toward the woman. The woman appears to be doing some martial arts toward the witch, preparing to defend herself. The witch then gets the better of her, casting a spell her way. This throws the woman on her side, and she sounds like she's choking, but she rights herself. The witch then casts another spell, throwing her back again. The woman is really straining this time. The witch may have won this battle, but will she win the next? I guess it's this woman's decision if she'll ever return here again. A YouTuber named Harry Brook is filming himself in a bullpen. When one of the bulls strays away from the rest, Harry doesn't even have time to shut the gate before the giant animal charges straight for him, and he barely makes it up the fence with his life. Clearly, there is nothing that any of the fellow ranchers could have done to save him. The entire event is over in less than 10 seconds. This woman found her toy doll in a disturbing state, so she contacted YouTuber Luan Mendez to help her.
Tá ali já, mano.
Mano, tudo bom? Bom, prazer, Luan. Pode entrar?
Oi?
Tem alguém aí?
Tem meu marido e minha filha que tá dormindo.
Seu marido é o Leandro.
Shared by YouTube channel Blah Blah, this video is trending in the Arabic-speaking YouTube community.
Ah, tá estranho, mano.
E olha isso aqui.
Tá costurado, parece.
A mão tá costurada atrás.
Nossa.
E tá com uma fralda de criança,
É.
Você comprou desse jeito já? Como que é?
Não, a gente tava passando.
After these guys come to take a look, they find the cellar. They hear something banging on the lid.
É você, boneca?
Tá pega, mano.
Falando pra você, cara. Você viu? Eu vou entrar.
É a boneca, Luan.
So they climb in to investigate.
Cuidado.
Dá a câmera pra mim aqui, Júlio.
Ai, pô.
Nossa, que tá boa. Irmão, a boneca tá aqui.
The doll of horror is inside, but after stepping away from the horror doll for a minute, this happens.
A boneca tá do mesmo jeito.
Ai, ai! Cadê a boneca? Cadê a boneca, Pia? O que foi?
Cadê a boneca? Cadê a boneca? Tava aqui agora.
Ué, ela tava ali, irmão, ó.
It disappears. Where did the doll go? Was it possessed by something? Or did some slick soul do this to her? I have a theory. I think the doll was being used as a voodoo doll. That still doesn't explain where it disappeared to. But have no fear. The horror doll always returns.
Luan. Júlio, ela é! Ai! Ai, ela! Ai, 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 ai! Ai! Bati, ai! Nossa, mano!
Although you and I were probably not hoping for an encore for this one. It's after hours at a hardware store when this red balloon floats into view for no reason at all. The store owner doesn't notice anything out of the ordinary. As he makes his way to a shelf to price some items, the balloon stays in place for approximately 15 seconds, which is already weird enough, but then once his back is turned, it steadily moves in his direction and even slowly floats to eye level, where it stays behind him for a long time. When he still doesn't notice, it actually floats around to cut him off. According to the owner, the air conditioning was turned off and there was no draft in the building, so there really should be no way for this balloon to be moved at all. Besides, he doesn't even sell them to begin with, and has no idea how one floated into a closed store. A synagogue in Ukraine captured something absolutely creepy and mysterious, a brilliant ball of light floating ominously near the synagogue wall. The authentic video shows the ball of light floating down to hover, swaying back and forth slightly in one place. It stays there for a moment, glowing its mystery, until it flies upward again, disappearing forevermore. The ball of light isn't a perfectly circular orb. In fact, it looks almost gelatinous, as its shape changes slightly in its hovering, with protuberances bulging slightly here and there. So what is this light? What could it be? Scientists are baffled and can't seem to find any explanation for it, leaving explanations up to popular opinion. These opinions range from a lightning ball to a reflection of infrared light to someone's very soul. Jewish people were ordered to gather here before they were sent off to camps in WW2, so the possibility of it being someone's soul looks promising. I wouldn't be surprised if souls abounded here. The truth is, we'll likely never know what was the source of this light, and we probably weren't meant to know. Old tunnels are full of history, and often that history is fearful. Published to YouTube by IKS Exploration in March of 2017, this clip explores the abandoned Dover tunnels. According to the channel, this is one of the many tunnels bored into the ground to allow fresh spring water through without upsetting the ground above. Me and Chris don't feel good in this location. Strange sounds and hums can be heard. He also claims to have heard a voice that sounded like that of a girl. Wear your headphones to hear what they hear. As the pair wander through the impressive tunnels, they appear indefinite. Will the explorers make it out of here alive, or be left wandering this labyrinth for eternity? As noted, the tunnels have cracks in the linings, making them particularly dangerous. Today they are locked down and inaccessible to the public. Probably a good thing. A home security camera captured what appears to be paranormal activity in this haunted home, published by Britwheel88 in March of 2011. The footage shows a woman leaving a bedroom. She is holding a camera. I'm not sure what the context is. She then returns and is standing in the doorway with one hand on the door. Suddenly the door jerks slightly more open, pulling toward the wall and scaring the woman out of the room. Is someone hiding on the other side of the door? Or is the paranormal playing around? Either way, I don't think something is right in this house. It was May 17th, 1995. What San Diego was about to witness would be one for the record books. Sean Nelson thought he'd go for a joyride that day in an M60 tank. He broke into the National Guard Armory, rambled behind the wheel, and headed down Mesa College Drive into neighborhoods, crushing cars, busting open fire hydrants, and eventually leading police cruisers on a low-speed chase down Route 163. The crazy rampage lasted 23 minutes, all caught by TV news crews and police helicopters. The episode lasted until police subdued Nelson and he was lifted out of the tank, although there are many questions to be asked about this event. The big question is why? Why did he do it? Nelson had enlisted in the army after high school and served in West Germany in a tank battalion. His service record includes disciplinary problems and led to his honorable discharge in 1980. When he got home, he had a nice enough life for half a decade, got married, bought a home, made a decent living as a plumber, but then his parents passed away within 4 years of each other, and he couldn't cope with what happened. His wife filed for divorce. 5 years later, his life was in shambles. He had no money. His tools had been taken, his girlfriend left him, his house was in foreclosure. This is when Nelson went off the deep end. Literally, he started digging a hole 17 feet deep in his backyard. He told his friends that there was gold down there. Nelson's breaking point made for a frightening reality on this day in 1995. YouTubers Gankwapi are playing the Ouija board in a different form, using a glass in place of a planchette.
Hey. มีใครดันไหมใครดันกูตบจริงนะมึงตบเลยนะมึงนะ
The glass starts moving on its own, then something screeches overhead.
จอจาน
They think it's an owl. Shortly after, one of the group feels something behind him.
Hey. อยู่ไหน
And as they all start to feel that the spirit was angry, this happens.
ว่าเขาเริ่มไม่พอใจเนี่ยเขาจะมาพัก
ยังไงรบกวนเขาหรอมั่ง
รบกวนเขาไม่พอใจเลย
I don't think that this can be fabricated. I think this video is real, and it is terrifying. This video of a Mississippi swamp creature is hard to see, but the payoff is worth it. Watch the circled area and tell me if you see movement or not.
Baby!
Now here's the same area zoomed in. You can see something is behind the tree, a creature whose oversized arms extend down to the swamp. It straightens its back as it sees the camera and looks to the camera. It's hard to say if this really is a swamp creature or just shadows cast from the leaves above. This is allegedly the swamp creature's face. If it was just a bit closer, we'd have enough detail to make a final decision. That looks like it could be the face of a creature or just some tree bark to me. Joseph Widener opens his dark web mystery box and immediately comes face to face with two creepy dolls. Inside of a gray plastic bag, he also finds an old beat up hammer. It looks well used, though for what I can't tell, hopefully not on people. But then, worst of all, in another gray plastic bag, Joseph finds a sharp instrument that has almost certainly seen foul play one way or another.
What the dude?
The screwdriver is covered in hair and wet with an off-color liquid. It may or may not have been staged, but I personally think Joseph should have contacted the police just to be on the safe side. Let me know if you agree. There are some things that make you so nervous you can never unsee them. They remain on the backs of your eyelids when you go to sleep at night. This entry will make you stay out of the forest. Redditor Film Direction wrote, "Aw man, Chills is gonna be all over this in his next video." And he's right, I am. Posted by Rabbit14k, this video of a so-called forest guard was captured in India. The clip shows a vehicle driving at night down a dirt road surrounded by forest. It must be drizzling, as the windshield wipers are moving. Then up ahead in the middle of the road is a figure in white flowing robes. The figure's head is covered, and when we never see its face, as the vehicle backs up, the figure walks slowly and strangely off the path and into the trees. As the vehicle continues to reverse, it disappears, swallowed by the darkness. According to Redditor Vixen Ross, this might be a holy man or woman, as the Sri Sararda Devi wears similar robes to these worn by our forest guard. Others note that it's a bit on the dark side for a midnight stroll, even for a holy man. Did this video make the hair on your legs stand up? Did it give you chills? Did it make your nose start running? And what do you think? Is this human or demon?
Watch how this ghost is working out. It's moving by itself, just like somebody's sitting there.
This outdoor workout station is moving all by itself, or so it seems. I think someone could be moving it with wires off camera. At the beginning, he shows this zoomed in shot, but it's vertical, so there is plenty we can't see. I'm not saying this video isn't real. I'm just saying I would be more convinced if he showed the entire street to prove that no one else was around. Lethal Gamers is a YouTube channel full of cool gaming videos, but one in particular is unlike all of the others, and not in a good way.
Look at this. There's a baby face clear as day in the window.
I don't know if it's the face of a baby or not, but I can see the eyes, nose, mouth, chin, neck, hair, and ear. It looks to be wailing in anguish. Lethal Gamers says that his floor is up way too high for someone to press their face against the glass. Beyond the reflection of his room is nothing but night sky.
Look, this is my kitchen window. But the crazy part is when I first looked at this, when I first saw the face, it looked like it was looking straight out. And now it looks like it's turned.
And get this. He also says that this face was looking the other way minutes ago, and 20 minutes after this video was taken, it was supposedly gone, but without the video proof, we'll never be able to explain if this was real or fake.
A girl stacks cups while her siblings watch, but apparently something else is watching too, as a little doll rises up for a closer look. The way it sits up looks like somebody has to be hiding behind the television, but it doesn't look like there's enough space for anybody to comfortably fit behind, not even a child. Maybe they ran something through the back of the cabinet to make the doll sit up. If that's not the case, then I think it's probably time to board up that room and sell the house.
Once you've investigated enough haunted places, you're bound to encounter a shadow figure or two. YouTuber Dennis from Dark Life faces off with one in this haunted house. Did you see it? There's definitely something there, but it's not there for long. After it crosses the room, it vanishes completely. I think this demon won't reveal its full nature. At this point, he is but a shadow. Trevor, aka Hitch, has a live stream channel where he travels all across the country meeting new people. The only problem is the people he meets aren't always alive. He's staying overnight at a hotel that's supposedly haunted when scary things happen to him. The kind of stuff the hotel's owner would probably never want you to see because it would be bad for business.
I've never seen anything that can be explained. I've never heard anything that could have no explanation.
He is in the middle of talking about how he's never experienced a scary moment that couldn't be explained.
And I'm doing stuff where people, I think people would be like, you'd be very...
When suddenly some weird things caught on live stream leave him laughing uncontrollably with fear. I think he's laughing to cover up an intense sense of panic. A vein is about to bust out his forehead with adrenaline, suggesting his fight or flight instincts were triggered and he was gearing up for conflict. This was not someone in his hotel room because, unless I'm mistaken, he wasn't sharing a room with anyone in this video. He was staying all by himself when the lights turned on. I guess he could have asked a random person to help him make a ghost video, but his response seems genuine, so I don't think this moment is made up. I will say as a counterpoint that many other scary live stream moments like this have turned out to be fake though, so I'm not claiming this was 100% real. I'm just saying that this was really weird and he seems freaked out. Tell me if you think he was really staying in a haunted hotel that night. I think he was. After all, when you traveled to different places all over the country, it's only a matter of time before one of them ends up being haunted. This footage was apparently found inside the Pennhurst Asylum, which is a real abandoned place located in Pennsylvania. The footage contains two students exploring the clearly abandoned building, and while nothing too bizarre happens in this footage, the backstory and timing are enough to make you scream. The two student explorers were never seen again after this. Well, that is terrifying enough. I want you to focus on the timestamp in the corner. Notice how they are ending up in new spots in the asylum at a faster and faster rate. Near the end of the video, the pair end up in the forest at a rate where the speed they are traveling is simply inhuman. What do you think is happening here? If this footage is real, then it is a case where the happenings would never be believed, if not for it being recorded. William Sloan has no idea what to make of this paranormal evidence and is asking for help from experts because he admits he doesn't know much about the other side. He was playing with a Ouija board when he made contact with a ghost who calls itself James. William must have forgotten to properly end the ceremony because ever since then, scary stuff like this happens way too often around his now haunted home.
Just rock it a little bit. Just a little bit.
Obviously, there's no one behind it or near it except for him, but the lighting is a little low, so maybe he was pulling on a piece of string to make it look like a ghost is moving the chair. Weeks later, William tries his best to harness some type of relationship with the spirit. Train it, if you will. One of the paranormal experiments is called the candle trick, and it involves trying to get James to move the candle around.
One more time.
Most objects, when pulled with a string, will glide over the smooth surface of a table. This sounds different, like it's being pushed down into the table with some amount of friction. William also claims to have been trying to get James to blow the candle out, but I guess that hasn't been caught on video yet. If you're still not sure what to make of this, you're not alone. Sometimes William himself has doubts, but whenever he does, it seems like the ghost has more scary moments to show.
I don't know. Just a little bit. I'm not convinced.
Even assuming the sliding glass door was open, the timing of the wind gust is undeniable. Much like the candle, William says he's not convinced, and then James convinces him.
Holy.
William has saved the best paranormal evidence for last. This time he gives James a new object, a bell. He doesn't believe in modern ghost hunting equipment and believes a simpler approach will yield the best results. He rings the bell a few times to show James that it works and then invites him to do the same.
You do that. Just give me one good ring if you're there. You see that? Is that happening?
Since William asked for help, I'll give my overall analysis. I think videos like this are hard to fake. I've seen a lot of them, and this is probably the most convincing because I don't know how he could be faking ghost movement from that close. In other words, the bizarre activity is probably real. I have no idea about the date, time, or location of this video. All I know is that it's supposedly been uploaded to the deep web because the original uploader didn't want to be tracked by the federal government in retaliation for getting their story out. A large bright blue object is quietly claiming the night sky outside of an apartment complex.
What is this? What is that? It's a one angel.
After a while, the sky blob stops in place and begins to expand outwards. Whatever it is, by the end of the video, it seems to take up nearly half of the sky. If this is real, then we probably would have never known any of this had ever happened without the anonymous deep web. Corey and Devin are two YouTubers who have a shared channel where they go on all kinds of adventures as well as family vlogs. They haven't updated in over 2 years, but the videos are still there for all to see, and some of them are, believe it or not, are convincingly paranormal. The videos I'm talking about center around Nona's Pizzeria in Magna, Utah, a family business with a terrible secret, a long-standing curse first brought upon them generations ago by a vindictive small-town witch. The curse is said to have opened a portal to channel forth numerous spirits, including the incorrigible witch herself, who remains as mean and evil as ever in the afterlife. Corey and Devin are not a professional ghost hunting channel by any means, and they have little experience dealing with the paranormal aside from television, but when they get a chance to visit one of the locations they recognize from a show called Ghost Adventures, they are eager to go, and so on October 21st, 2017, they find themselves face to face with the owners and most recent inheritors of the curse. A dark entity haunts this place, old as the building itself. Sometimes it appears to their son as a little girl who wants to play, sometimes it grabs them by the throat. The owners say that if they try to sell the business, the spirit has confirmed that it will burn it to the ground. They are to live and suffer the curse for all generations to come, or else pay the price through financial ruin. They suspect it's coming from the attic, so the first step is to set up a grid of lasers to see if anything blocks the light. Sure enough, they record this black floating blob on night vision. The rest of the wooden beam is a much lighter color except for the head of the shadow figure. They go into the attic space with cameras and try to catch something up close. It's almost too dark to see anything, but
I have some very creepy vibes. I can see the green lights.
The camera cannot seem to keep focus, almost as if somebody is standing directly in front of Corey, though nobody is there.
They're kind of going in and out.
As soon as they start talking about how the demonic force always seems to congregate in this particular spot, they hear a confirmation. I'll play it with the sound up. Do you hear it?
In this area here.
It was a scream in my opinion, and the K2 meter goes all the way up at the mere mention of its presence. Eventually, they track the exact spot where they think it's standing, and they suspect it needs more electricity in the air to better communicate. They say they are going to give it more energy, and at this point it seems to fully understand.
You're more than welcome to take from this energy, okay?
And true to their theory, when they charge the air with a taser and call it by the old family name of Cooper, they find the ghost is finally able to push the meter into the red, not once but twice.
Come on, Cooper. Thank you. Thank you. Cooper family.
Yes? Is that who it is?
Are we right? Are we right?
All within 11 seconds, so I think something is standing with them and it's not real. But soon a different force sweeps across the room, possibly the witch. They use a simple yes or no communication method to determine that whoever they are talking to wishes to do them harm.
Are you trying to use our weakness? Are you trying to use my weakness against me? See?
By now, the Coopers seem to have fully retreated, and the attic feels much different now, like an intruder is here. And when they break out the heavy equipment for an EVP session to determine if they are correct about this change, this single word is broadcast very clear.
Evil.
Evil. Do you think this says evil like they claim? Because I hear it, and when they try to tell it to clarify, it has 3 words that I also hear quite well. Tell me if you can hear it too, or if you think something else is being said.
Try to focus a little stronger and make it come out a little clearer, please. On your name.
I think it's pretty clear that the curse is legit, and maybe they should make the spirit stay true to its word and leave this place for good. According to this TikTok by elkakoi.tv, nothing is a coincidence. This couple was driving around when the boyfriend captured something on camera that sent chills down his spine. The couple later had a strange accident, which looks like it totaled the car. Here's what he captured in the seat behind her. Is it a demon? Some in the comments think it's odd that he would even take this random picture of his girlfriend, but others are pretty sure this is the girl's guardian demon. I'm with them on that. There's an old abandoned bus in the woods that's supposed to be haunted. According to legend, the school wanted to get rid of the bus after someone lost their life on the way home. It switched ownership a few more times before a ghost hunter purchased it for a low price. He's out randomly recording it one day when all of a sudden he hears this. The man recording says that he does not have any children and that he is on his large wooded property all by himself. I will say that the voice does sound like it's coming from inside of the bus, or at least someplace close. I guess he could have a daughter or something who is hiding inside, but probably not. Then, as he is walking closer to the bus, he suddenly hears this very clearly. This could be a prank, but it could also be the ghost of a girl who does not know that she has passed on. She apparently tries to get his attention by cheerfully saying hello, but he runs away, leaving her behind in her rotting bus. Posted to the r/Chills Narrator subreddit, Redditor Sufficient Wish 3111 was on a Discord call with a friend when something mysterious happened. He writes, "Buddy, I literally have no idea what happened here. I went into a Discord call with a friend, and just as we started talking, some weird light flashed and blinded me for a second. I always have NVIDIA Shadow Play on, so I decided to save and share this with you. Maybe you have the answer." I can certainly see what he is talking about. There's a massive flash of light that illuminates the entire room, and just as quickly as it appears, it's gone. Both men are clearly surprised by the ordeal, and I'm not sure what could have caused it. Perhaps a power surge? Let me know what you think happened here. This stranger in a hockey jersey demands entry. Would you let him in?
Let me in.
Published by Sam Maloney in May of 2022, this Ring doorbell camera captured this man's attempted entry on video. After being dropped off by a white car that drives away, the man walks up the stairs and rings the doorbell a couple of times. He speaks in a strange, froggy voice. He continues to growl at the door.
Let me in. Let me in.
Alexa then asks him what his intentions are, and he responds,
Let me in.
This is Alexa. What is the purpose of the visit?
I require entry.
After demanding entry, the man disappears from the camera's sight, but it's not clear where he went. He didn't retreat down the front stairs. Did he find a way in through the door or a window? You and me are left with more questions than answers. You can see a lot more from a bird's eye view, but that doesn't make things any clearer. YouTuber Stromedy captured something truly disturbing from his drone in the middle of the night. Watch and see if you can make sense of it.
Whoa! What? Dude, that's a runner, dude. That's a runner. Look. Now he just got up and started running.
Follow him.
Yeah, they're both running. Okay, guys, calm. Stay calm.
People are running amok, knocking others over. What is happening here? I can't make heads or tails from this. And at ground level, it gets even stranger.
I'm landing it. Wait, yo! There's one right there!
What is this guy after? I'd like to think this was some sort of game this group plays at night, but I have no idea what that game could be. Can anyone make sense of this? This Airbnb promises you a terrible night's sleep. Published by Chelsea Luna in October of 2020, this scary video takes you on a tour of America's most haunted Airbnb. Chelsea's creepy overnighter begins with a hiss.
What does that mean?
She looks around but sees nothing. Her dog doesn't take kindly to this place and starts barking at nothing. When she asks if there's anyone there, she hears a whistle.
Is anyone in here?
and later a knock sounds at the door, setting off the dog alarm. After a while, she heads outside only to hear more disturbing noises. Back inside, she finds red liquid on the wall and later feels something right behind her.
Is there a spirit?
Oh my gosh.
Quiet.
As they're later talking to a demon named Raymond, a water bottle falls on its own, startling them. They continue talking to the spirit when something loud is heard. It looks like an object flies in Chelsea's face.
Are you a demon?
As the pair are considering leaving the haunted Airbnb to grab a coffee at Starbucks, you hear a loud thump.
I'll just drive. I don't care. I'm down to go.
We're gonna stop at the gas station to get a chocolate shop.
Sounds like Raymond, the demon, doesn't want them to go. When demons get aggressive, then it's time to be really afraid. Published by Realidad Alterna in November of 2021, this scary video shows a terrifying, malignant incident caught on camera, captured in a scary haunted house. Tim sets up his camera and immediately hears a strange noise behind him. As he's reading something out loud, a window pane starts opening and shutting like mad. The lights start flashing in both rooms, and later, with the night vision on, a chair comes flying out of another room. It doesn't look like it's thrown, rather like it rises. But the scariest part is yet to come. As Tim reads a ritual out loud, a chair comes flying behind him, knocking him over, and seated into the chair. Later, he hears strange knocking from the basement. And when he goes to investigate, creepy groans sound distantly, but they seem like they're all around him. There is something truly to fear in this demon house. Are you ready to face it? This video shows you never know what you might encounter next in the desert. Haley Steele was at Burning Man 2012 in Black Rock City, Nevada, when a massive dust devil formed right in front of her very eyes.
Oh shit, here it comes. Oh, that kid's gonna ride right through it.
Amazingly, you can see someone casually riding their bike as the massive cloud of dust surrounds him. If this was happening in front of me, I'd be hightailing it out of there. The last thing I want is dust in my eyes, ears, and nose. This home surveillance footage has been circulating around the internet, but I'm trying to figure out if it's fake, or did this woman have her home surveillance hacked? After all, there have been many cases of that happening over the last couple years. If that's the case, it's super scary to think this woman is being watched by an unknown person without her knowledge, and without any context. You would never know that scenario is a real possibility. What do you think? Is this real or fake? To kick off this entry, we enter the medieval old town of Edinburgh. The storied history of Scotland's capital lends itself to some truly legendary hauntings. This video illustrates that no matter where you turn in Edinburgh, you may find yourself face to face with the paranormal. Submitted to the Chills Narrators subreddit by Rocket League RL. Something frightening is caught on film in this normal, everyday Edinburgh park. Even J.K. Rowling found ghostly inspiration in Edinburgh, citing the very real Greyfriars Kirkyard, where you will find some of her character names taken straight from the cemetery's very own tombstones. Needless to say, Edinburgh is the perfect scene for paranormal sightings, as this video goes to show, on the banks of a lake, across the jungle gym bars of a playground, a phantom woman appears to stand still. As day turns to dusk, Apart from the ghastly image of this figure stood unmoving there, strange incoherent sounds are heard throughout the clip. Is this a case of Edinburgh's terrifying history come to life? Or are our eyes deceiving us? There's a graveyard in the community of poetry that is famous for a very strange phenomenon, flashlight controlling ghosts. Apparently, spirits will sometimes take control of flashlights in this area, apparently using them to communicate with the living and answer basic questions.
Did you come through the vortex?
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
What's really weird to me is how the light slowly fades away instead of turning straight off like normal.
So they have a destination when they...
And this isn't the only video I've found where this happens.
Are you gonna turn it off? I see it getting very dim. Are you playing with the flashlight now? Thanks.
Can someone explain how this is happening? If it's not being caused by the paranormal, you can't see the bottom of the flashlight in the second video, so maybe their hand is still on it, but nobody is touching the flashlight in the first video, so that one looks especially real. And if you've ever tried this at Dry Creek Graveyard, then we would definitely like to read what happened to you next. So please let us know in the comments section. Scary restaurant video was captured in a bar in Singapore late at night. First, a stool falls over, which I guess could just be a string, but their reaction seems realistic as they all question how this could happen. The entire time, none of them realize that they are being watched by the faint outline of a woman who does not move or make a noise. Maybe it's just me, but it almost looks like this woman's feet are off the ground and she is suspended in the air. This anxiety-producing deep web video is a collection of strange clips, accompanied by multiple layers of creepy audio. After a while, it becomes increasingly demonic and obsessed with black magic imagery as the jarring audio intensifies. The video also contains multiple languages. I think this part, for example, is both Spanish and Russian. Translate this clip if you can and tell me what's going on here. This could just be an art project, but then again, maybe there's something more devious at work here. It's almost as if this video was made in as many different languages as possible to corrupt the greatest number of minds at once. Whatever they are saying, however, I'm not exactly sure. In 2004, a student at the University of Massachusetts in Amherst named Mara Murray went missing. She had been acting very strangely, like crying at work and taking someone's credit card before she disappeared. She was eventually seen in New Hampshire, stranded at the side of the road. Someone called the police, but when they arrived, she was gone. This video, called Happy Anniversary, was originally uploaded by a YouTuber named 112 Dirtbag. It was put up shortly before the 8th anniversary of her disappearance. This is haunting enough, but it gets worse. The YouTuber's name, 112 Dirtbag, is believed to be a reference to something Mara's father once said. He said that she was probably picked up by some dirtbag on Route 112. This video was quickly taken down and the original uploader was never found. April and Kevin of a YouTube channel called AK Explorations team up with some of their ghost hunting friends to take on the Florida Grand Opera House, a historic location established in 1884 that is rumored to have acquired quite a few spirits over the past 135 years. April stands behind the scenes and gazes upon a row after row of empty seats. She's busy taking in the sights when she captures this paranormal moment on camera. At 4 minutes and 48 seconds, a shadow figure walks between the red curtains on the other side of the opera. I was thinking that this could have just been the shadow of one of the other people she was with, except for 3 things. First, there's also a passing shadow on her side of the room at 4 minutes and 46 seconds. It happens next to her, in exactly 2 seconds before it happens again on the other side of the room. Second, there's a really weird noise before the shadow person appears. She kinda makes a sigh, but there's also like a shrieking noise or something at the same time. Third of all, these orbs appear when she tries to tell Kevin about the experience.
Who's back there? I waited. I saw someone walk back there.
Next, they go to the balcony seats, and a strange feeling overtakes April at 7 minutes and 27 seconds.
Weird up here, guys. Let's sit here for a minute. Actually, here for a minute.
This strange white anomaly appears 2 seconds after she says she doesn't feel normal up here. It does look like a floating hair, but it also kind of looks like a phantom outline walking down the steps. The feeling grows so strong that she needs to step away and regather her thoughts. She turns around and is sure she's being watched again, and I'm almost sure I see the curtains move right where she believes it to be.
Guys, it feels really weird. Right here. Chelsea's doing her awful list down there.
When AK Explorations aren't exploring fancy operas, they are usually busy investigating much less sophisticated haunts, like this chicken farm in the middle of nowhere. Eyes are on them from afar before they've even stepped foot inside, hopefully those of a wild animal rather than a restless spirit, though probably the latter based on what they soon encounter.
Middle of the night, by ourselves.
April immediately feels watched as they enter the abandoned home. She turns around and her light barely manages to catch more eyes, along with whatever this is.
Sorry, I heard something behind me.
It's a different color than the surrounding green plants, and it looks much closer than anything else, possibly even on the porch with her. She doesn't notice and moves on. Inside, all of the windows are blacked out so that no light gets through. Though I don't know why anyone would choose to do this, and I was hoping you might have a reason for it. In the corner of the living room is a knotted rope surrounded by flies. I don't know what happened here, but I'm glad they didn't check to see what's inside the black garbage bag right next to the rope. Next, April and Kevin sweep over the house with a black light to see if there are any signs of a struggle. Sure enough, at 10 minutes and 33 seconds, they find a red stain on the bed that is not visible without their equipment. A second similar red stain is found on the mattress at 10 minutes and 42 seconds, so something happened here. A noise interrupts April right as she suspects someone could still be in here.
Do you hear that?
I'll admit that I didn't hear anything at first, but soon a strange hum fills the air. This house has no power, so nothing should be humming at all. You really hear it at 11 minutes and 30 seconds.
Babe, come here. Oh, come here, let's go ahead.
The noise guides them to one room in particular. Something in their mind tells them not to go any further. A sixth sense warning that danger is near. April reasons that the floor might not be able to support their weight, but I'm pretty sure they felt the presence of whatever this is.
Is this just, you think it's safe to walk on?
It's a noise they do not hear until they watch the video much later. Looking back, all they knew was that it was time to leave. Did you ever pull an all-nighter in a haunted house? Paranormal investigators Dennis and Tim pair up as Nerve Paranormal to spend the night in this haunted place. They set up cameras and a tape recorder inside. First, a shadow in the corner is seen.
Стояла будто бы тень вот так в углу. Да? Я тебе что хочу сказать? Смотри. Смотри.
Once they have the cameras positioned, they go to sleep. Something immediately messes with their camera. And then their lights. Another camera captures something entering their room. You're probably asking yourself, how could they sleep through all that racket? Well, they won't sleep through this. There's nothing inside, but there definitely is, and I think Dennis and Tim won't be getting any more sleep tonight. Fishing is supposed to be a relaxing pastime. Kick back with your pole and a cold one, and you're set for a pleasant afternoon spent out on the water. But this video, posted on Reddit by Caesar4321, reveals that fishing can sometimes take an unexpected turn. The clip shows a lucky fisherman reeling in his prize catch, a nice little fish which he pulls out onto the banks of the pond in order to remove it from the line, but as he steps closer to his catch, something pops up out of nowhere. Bet you didn't see that coming. Redditor iMoosker commented, "They are fishing in literal croc swamps, like they aren't asking for chomps. Asking for it or not, alligator incidents are on the rise in Florida. Moral of the story? Don't disturb those muddy waters, or your bones may be snapped in half by some seriously powerful jaws." Not every old creepy basement is dark and haunted, but some are. And this one certainly could be. Going down there gets scarier every time, because Paranormal Activity is always on the rise. The creepy things down here always start with a ghost slamming the door.
Who's there?
At 41 seconds, he gets his reply in the form of a bizarre twisted figure. Caught on camera at 41 seconds, a physical manifestation of the ghost in the basement which he so fears. It seems to be bound tight in a cloak, and I can just barely make out two white eyes. The ghostly presence is caught on video but not in real life, and so our timid investigator keeps exploring the haunted place. Not for long though. His mission will be abandoned shortly. He is about to flee.
Why is the ball moving?
He questions aloud what his eyes are seeing, as a ball is caught moving by itself, or more accurately, like a ghost has pushed it. This could easily be done with the pull of a string, but that still doesn't explain the ghost sighting caught on tape earlier. A flying ghost has been caught on home CCTV video, claims a man in India who uploaded this bizarre late night sighting. A pure white object briefly pokes out of the woods. The supposed ghost video is low resolution and could be almost anything from a flashlight to wildlife. It looks weird, but I'm not exactly convinced he didn't just throw something himself. A YouTuber named RFam is doing a gym vlog when their punching bag begins moving on its own. slowly at first but gaining momentum over time, so even if she pushed it herself, it should slow down over time and eventually settle down, but that's not what happens at all. She dances for almost 10 minutes and the punching bag sways back and forth the entire time. What I can't understand is how she dances so close and doesn't notice the whole time. I guess she must have really been into her routine. There's no strings attached to the piece of equipment, and aside from this explanation, I can't think of any other way she could have faked it. This medicine ball also starts moving in the exact same way with no one touching it, at least no one that I can see, and no shadows on the wall to indicate someone off camera. Again, I can't believe she walks right by, but I suppose she simply feels comfortable at home and isn't exactly looking for anything out of the ordinary. A TikToker named Melody Zaragoza 1121 has an experience she will never forget on a flight, as she later describes simply as being not fun. All of the monitors go haywire and flash on and off in strange patterns, bathing the cabin in a green alien-like glow. At one point, they all turn on at once, almost as if there is some sort of deeper communication efforts at play. But without any further evidence, I would just as soon attribute this experience to faulty wiring, which, now that I think about it, is probably one of the few instances where a ghost could be arguably preferable. Exploring with Darknet is a YouTube channel dedicated to recording abandoned locations in all of their various forms. This time the group finds themselves inside of a large building that looks to have once been a manufacturing plant of some sort. While checking out various pieces of rusted machinery, they can't shake the feeling that they are being watched. Distant phantom lights follow them and snuff out randomly. On the second floor, they come across a room that appears to be strewn with heaps of garbage and adult diapers. At one point, they come across another room containing more trash and a woman's right shoe. The left one is nowhere to be found, so perhaps there was a struggle here. If you can translate the writing on this wall, please let me know what it says and also what language it is in. It might give us some clues as to exactly what happened here, and maybe even make some sense out of what happens next. They then come across a final room on the second floor with a dirty curtain draped across the doorway. They take a peek underneath and are greeted with a final scare. Listen closely again and you can hear someone screaming behind them as they pursue. Their wails echoing off thin corridor walls. Two college students in Spring City, Pennsylvania decide to explore an abandoned asylum called the Pennhurst State School and Hospital. They mostly find old rooms with floors covered in paint chips and other fallen debris, but a couple of strange things happen. First, tell me if you hear anything weird during this part. Some people say that they can hear a voice say the word mummy or something similar. I personally think that it's the sound of an old camera lens zooming in, but I'll let you decide. Anyway, they keep exploring and eventually go up a tall flight of winding stairs. Suddenly, the video cuts out, and just 30 seconds later, somebody is holding the camera in the middle of the woods. Shortly before the video ends, many people have pointed out that this is not enough time to get back down the steps. So a big question about this video is what happened during the time lapse. Some people say that this was an art project, but if so, nobody has stepped forward as the creator, which is usually what happens once a video has gone viral. None of it adds up. Built around 1635, the Pennhurst Castle is said to be one of the most haunted places in Ukraine. Take a look at some of the best paranormal evidence ever taken out of the creepy castle.
Andriana! Andriana!
A ghostly figure appears in the window and waves at them before mysteriously disappearing. It's not a reflection of clouds because of how quick it fades in and out. The person filming calls out the name Adriana, who I think was the name of one of the king's many wives hundreds of years ago, and whose life was possibly taken by him. Or it's just good editing. Hard to say. This place is said to be absolutely flooded with supernatural forces, so who knows? Jake Duffner is live streaming some Fortnite and everything is going well until 3 a.m. rolls around. Strangely enough, all of the weirdness begins as soon as he mentions how late it is.
It's the middle of the night for me. Why is this pregame lobby hella long? It was good.
Exactly 1 minute later, the door closes. Does it close by itself here, or was someone grabbing it from the bottom? This time he says he wishes someone would come in and test him. He obviously means in the game, but I guess the ghost doesn't understand. The timing is perfect. As soon as he says I wish someone would come, you can hear the doorknob turn.
I wish someone would come test me right now.
Next, his chair starts to move. I can't see the floor, but I can pretty much see the whole chair, and I think the camera is low enough to show someone crawling across the ground. No one does, so either they are using something to pull it from the doorway, or it's a ghost. The Franklin County Old Jail, which was established in 1818, is widely known for being extremely haunted, and usually, it seems that whoever dares to enter finds themselves getting more than they bargained for. A YouTube channel named Paranormal Purgatory decided to venture down into the jail themselves to have a look around the place. The jail is eerily decrepit and worn down, something you'd expect from a 200-year-old building, but just because it's worn down doesn't mean that the place remains uninhabited.
Look at that. That's gonna be.
Did you see the old rocking horse in there?
Know what I see.
Go in there.
Know what I see.
Go in there.
Know what I see.
Go in there. Did you hear that?
I heard that too.
There was a whistle.
So next to the bed here, I do kind of see what they're talking about here. If you just focus on the bed, there appears to be just kind of this shadow, and then it almost seems to take off to the right here.
Old rocking horse in there?
Know what I see.
Go in there.
Know what I see.
Go in there.
Know what I see.
Go in there. Did you hear that?
Oh, right there. Okay, I now see exactly what they're talking about. So there's going to be a flash of light. So it looks like it's like a head and kind of a torso, and there's that flash of light, and then it looks like it just sort of pops right up. It happens so quickly. I should play this in slow motion. Right here, don't you see that? And then it just pops right up just in the split second that it's shown in the light. Even though the crew behind the channel had only just started to look around the jail, little did they know that they didn't need to look any further for signs of paranormal life, as you can make out what appears to be some sort of shadow figure right next to the bed, which vanishes just as quick as it appears. During the rest of the video, the crew explores the remaining areas of the jail, but are ultimately unable to find any other signs of paranormal activity. Even still though, seeing this shadow figure in person during an investigation would be enough to terrify anybody. This place is super haunted, and YouTube team Paranormal My wants to test its energy. Watch to the right. And if that wasn't enough, the chair on which the doll sits is moving uncannily. It does this again and again. Until it can't take anymore and launches backward. This is some of the craziest, most jarring paranormal activity I've ever seen. The movements of these objects are so rapid fire, they look unreal. After setting up a still camera and a spirit box in this haunted apartment's kitchen, Other Side Research captured something unsettling. Watch the left side of the screen. Was that a shadow figure? Let's see it again.
Here you can clearly see something captured in the top left of the screen. It appears just after the spirit box seems to say the word demon. After going over this piece of footage multiple times, none of us can decide what this may have been.
It doesn't look like the usual suspect, an insect, but could it be someone off screen, casting this shadow? Without seeing what's going on behind the scenes, I'm hesitant to decide on this one. This video was taken at night in a parking garage somewhere in West India. A woman was apparently acting normal until she was suddenly attacked by what some bystanders later described as a ghost. Watch this part and tell me if you think she is having delusions or fighting off a spiritual possession. Try to translate if possible too, please. I did not think much of this video until I noticed what could be a strange paranormal disturbance. Some kind of fast-moving white objects repeatedly appeared during the harshest times of her struggle, like here for instance. Poor camera quality makes it hard to tell if these are some kind of spirit orbs or just insects. If these are insects and nothing more, I find it weird that there are only just a few of them, and how they only seem to appear during key moments of the video when she is in the most distress. A YouTuber named Maximus and his friends are playing with a Ouija board in the shed. At first, they can't stop goofing around for long enough to take it seriously, but as time goes on, they start to concentrate more on the board and less on making jokes.
Are you there?
Maybe lift your arms up.
Why?
Cause it.
What?
Yo, what?
No, that was you. Is that not you? No.
They laugh wildly to cover up the mounting tension as they realize a ghost might actually be near. Unlike most of the videos, nothing happens for a long time, and the pointer stays completely still. They go back to making sarcastic jokes until another event gives them pause.
Are you standing next to Frank Tilton?
Are you Frank Tilton?
When was he born?
Stop playing. Stop.
Oh my god, no way! That actually fell!
They are still acting like they don't care very much, but they decide to leave the shed just in case something is watching them. There's something about this video and their excitedly skeptical reactions that seems very genuine to me. Who's there? Your worst nightmare. Posted by Deadhead Gillies to the Ghosts subreddit. The Redditor says there's something knocking in the walls, and we don't have to take her word for it because she has video proof. It sounds like someone is knocking insistently at the door, only there's no one there. She says this has continued for 2 months. She's not the only one to have had such an experience. Redditor Ritual Maniac writes in the comments that the same knocking pattern occurred at a house she once lived in, along with other paranormal happenings like voices, doors opening, running, etc. When they moved, everything, including the nightmares and unexplainable bad feelings, all vanished. The Redditor says this knocking wasn't heard initially and just started happening randomly as of late. At one point when her boyfriend lived there, he even heard laughing and whispering. The Redditor said after sending the videos to her grandmother, a pastor was supposed to come and visit, but of course an ongoing event began earlier this year and prevented that. Some in the comments think it's the pipes, others say it's likely a pesky animal, but myself and many others are leaning towards the paranormal. Game of Onions writes, let him in already, must be cramped in there, but I wouldn't take that advice. These campers aren't going to get any more sleep tonight. Posted to TikTok by Eagle Trindade. One camper opens their tent flap to reveal 4 enormous crocodiles waiting just outside their door. And that's not even the scariest part. At least a dozen pairs of eyes are gleaming in the darkness. The man closes the tent flap as if that weak nylon and polyester is going to save him from this army of chompers. While some in the comments are saying this is more terrifying than a horror movie, others are just wondering how these guys made it out of their tent. Are these crocodiles just trying to get warm? Or are they out for a midnight snack?
Ai, meu Deus do céu! Vocês estão entendendo o quanto de jacaré tem aqui? Ai, meu Deus. Eu tô na barraca literalmente pra acampar. Vamos dormir aqui, guys?
While exploring this haunted house, the YouTube team from Dark Arts TV is being followed.
Come into this room. Footsteps coming in. Come into the room, come on, you.
They hear the sound of a voice, either a woman's voice or a baby's.
Do you know what it sounded like to me, that? It's like either baby sound.
Later in another room, something is moving next door.
No. Someone's just moved in there. Where do you want us to go to?
In yet another room, they hear more footsteps and a woman's voice again. They continue their investigation and hear something walking across glass in a different room.
Try to use the energy and make a loud sound. Oh, can you come down this corridor as fast as possible? Walk down it, into this room.
I heard it too, and I also hear a growl here, which the team doesn't appear to hear in the moment.
Maybe.
Judging by all this evidence, there's clearly something malevolent in this building, and it seems to be stalking them. I only hope they can shake whatever it is off when they leave this place. This house is supposedly haunted, and the family room reportedly has the most activity out of anywhere. As you can see in this close-up shot, there is nothing out of the ordinary about this mirror at all. But once the paranormal investigation is underway, a woman's colorless face appears in the upper left quadrant. She is staring directly at the camera with two black holes for eyes. Her thin lips and nose clearly visible. As far as I can see, there is nothing in the room that could cast such a strangely vivid reflection.
Is he on the stairs? Is he standing there? Yes. Where?
That's the reaction of a YouTuber's daughter when asked to identify the man on the stairs. Her mom is very curious and wants to know more about what her daughter thinks she is seeing.
Where's the man? Where? Man. Show Mama where's the man.
Man stares, her daughter says in a tiny British accent. It would almost be cute if the paranormal implications weren't so terrifying. After all, she is talking about being watched by a stranger in their own living room. As the video continues, you can tell the girl becomes more afraid to look up from her toys. She obviously does not want to see the man by the stairs anymore. Though I have no idea what he looks like or what he's doing, the girl does not seem to be smiling or showing any other signs of making up a story, so I am inclined to believe this potential ghost sighting could be real. Let me know if you agree or not. If you remember one thing about the forest, remember this: it's no place for the faint of heart. Posted by Mysterio Canal in January of 2013. This video purports to show a fire witch in the forest. Translated from Spanish, Mysterio writes, the video amateurs pursued an alleged witch on a road in southern Mexico. Running into it several times, managed to capture it in detail, looking like a being of flames or a witch. It is worth mentioning that there are many physical phenomena that can explain this event, but you have the last word. The video shows a glow in the distant darkness that shines for a moment before dimming to black. The amateur videographers are driving down a dark and bumpy dirt road at night towards the glow. Then in the midst of the road, the orange light again appears, igniting a figure in the road. What is it? Could it be the rare fire witch? According to Fixpedia Fandom Wiki, a fire witch is a rare figure in folklore that can either heal or destroy in an instant, and of course their primary source of power is the ease at which she can manipulate flames, using her ability to cause unseen destruction. These witches aren't only here to destroy, however, they are also masters at healing and may heal if they so choose. Is this mystical figure captured in the forest good or evil? Let's hope she uses her powers for the better. Esmeralda Vega is recording her family opening presents on Christmas, but one toy in particular keeps interrupting what should have been a happy family moment.
That shit moved again, I'm throwing it across the...
Maybe someone is controlling this toy from another room, or maybe it's motion activated, but based on their surprised reactions, I don't think anyone is moving this toy on purpose. If anything, the toy seems to move on its own as soon as the camera person mentions it, almost like it has a mind of its own. If anybody recognizes this toy, please let me know what it's called and if it's remote controlled or not. Maybe together we can verify if this video is real or not. A ghost hunting YouTube channel called Spartan Hunters 2 explores the narrow stone corridors of the old Paulding County Jail in Ohio for any signs of the afterlife. As soon as they turn the corner, they hear something that sends shivers down my spine.
Did you hear that?
What was that?
I don't know. Wow.
An anguished scream cries out from deep within the jail complex, which I'm sure most of you heard, but did you hear the creepy laughter that follows the scream? Listen really closely and you can make out the faint echoes of laughter bouncing off the walls. It happens right after he says, "Did you hear that?"
Did you hear that?
Is this ER haunted by the dearly departed? TikToker Lucy Trevelyan thinks so. They've posted this security camera footage as proof. Watch the curtain in the background.
What the?
It blows around, moving as though someone touched it. According to the TikToker, this happened at around 5 in the morning. Nobody was there, and there are no air vents near the curtain. Judging by everyone's reaction, this is an anomaly. If we are to trust the TikToker that no air vents might have caused this, I think it's safe to say that the spirits did. After all, hospitals are regular havens of lost souls. Do you believe in the paranormal? Are you paranoid someone's watching? Then the paranormal paranoids are here to guide you. Introducing your guides, Peter, Laura, David, and Riley. These videos were posted by the Twitter account Just the Paranoid. The first video is set in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. The crew enters a wooded area, and Riley explains why they're here. She says that to the locals, these woods are a setting for a sinister story.
To most people, this forest is the same as any, but to the people of Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, who remember what occurred in 1994, these woods hold a sinister story.
In 1994, a young married couple crossed paths with a lifeless body along the path. Mary Talbert had sadly taken her own life, being that she did so on a very public path. The takeaway is that Mary wanted to be found. The group paused near the tree where it happened.
This is where it happened. It was almost as if she wanted to be found, wanted to be seen.
They pose for pictures and leave. While watching the footage back, they discovered a few things they hadn't noticed in person. Upon first entering the woods, a disembodied face appears in the trees.
I don't think it's there, Peter. Yeah.
Later, as they are leaving, the camera catches someone standing behind a tree. perhaps watching them, but the creepiest image comes as they're posing for pictures near Mary's tree. Lurking in the distance is a figure that looks as though it's wearing a cloak with something draped over its face.
Over here.
Okay.
All right, what are we doing?
Smiling, right?
Smile? Yeah. Okay.
Are you paranoid yet? If not, take a journey through Dark County Correctional Facility with the Paranormal Paranoid crew in their second video.
It all happened here, inside of these walls.
While they are wandering through, Peter is observing letters written on a window when they hear something in the next room.
What was that?
But they could find nothing there. They continue on, heading upstairs, where they discover a bunch of books open on a counter. They wander through the area where prisoners were kept in solitary confinement.
And the inmates that were brought here in the 1930s, they were maximum security.
Then up a narrow staircase and back to more prison cells.
Did you do that?
Wait, did you do that?
I didn't touch anything.
Riley is leading the way when suddenly she stops and her face is full of fear. She said she suddenly felt cold, and you can literally see her breath on video.
Yeah, you feel what?
Cold. Holy shit. Riley, what?
According to the crew, the camera cut out and didn't record anything for a couple minutes. When it returns, they cast a light down one hall, which shows just how far and deep this well goes.
Look at this.
How far back does that go?
I have no idea.
That's pretty cool, yeah, sorry.
And just how many prisoners' stories it holds. One last tour by the Paranormal Paranoids see the crew at Lincoln Elementary, whose haunted halls have stories to tell.
So we made it. Lincoln Elementary. This school has an incredible haunted history, dating all the way back to 1976.
One morning in 1976, staff showed up to a filthy school. Although they called the janitor, there was no answer. Upon entering the janitor's closet to obtain cleaning supplies, they discovered the janitor passed away in horrific fashion. According to Riley, every bone in the janitor's body was broken, and his mop was shoved down his throat with just the strings hanging out. Ever since, the place has cycled through janitors, with no one staying long, as mysterious things kept happening. Rooms that had already been mysteriously cleaned, a solidly locked janitor's closet.
Is the legend true? David, what do you think?
I don't know.
They enter the school and for some reason head exactly where you wouldn't want to go, into the basement. That's when this happens. Though the bang terrifies them, they continue on, heading into what appears to be the boiler room. Something is clanging around. And then there's another big bang. As they panic, what they see next freaks them out even more. A quiet whistle alerts them to a figure with a white face and glowing eyes standing in a doorway.
Chill. Where did that come from? I don't know.
He shuts the door as they take off in fear up the stairs. Are the paranormal paranoids onto something? Whether or not they attract the paranormal, their paranoia seems more than justified. When you enter a graveyard, you may not leave alone. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit, Scream Gaming writes, "This was caught in a cemetery when we were leaving. All 4 of us got chills at the time, and it felt like something left with us. In the short clip, the group is heading out of the driveway of the cemetery when you see a figure on the side of the road. According to the Redditor, they caught this creepy thing on video where in reality there was nothing, just grass and a telephone pole. Do you see it?" Redditor Treadway0311 does, writing, "There definitely was something there and then gone, but what was it and where did it go?" Shawnee Explores takes a Ouija board into the forest and places it just outside of a haunted cottage where a man took the life of his spouse. It isn't long before his electromagnetic frequency reader starts going crazy, so he and his friends know they are in the right place and set up the board. Soon they are channeling the spirit of a small boy who only refers to himself by the initials SF. They ask the boy for his age and some other questions, but apparently it's only interested in trying to warn them about a hidden danger. RUN it spells, so they get out of there fast without properly ending the ceremony. When Shawnee Explores remembers that he needs to select goodbye or risk becoming possessed, he discovers that he can't move the pointer without an extreme amount of force. It's almost as if something is not letting him move. You can see the pointer barely moving despite Shawnee pressing very hard, but I guess he could be pressing straight down instead of forward to create this illusion. I think this video is probably real, but I can't tell for sure, so give me your best guess and let's figure it out together. Is this the work of the legendary magician Hashina, published in September of 2021? This scary video is tantalizing. While I don't have the full context, the short clip shows some men sitting around a room. Some of the men are chanting. What are they trying to do? Exorcise someone of a possession? I'm not sure. But as the group sits there, a creepy shadow figure emerges from behind a door's fogged glass window. It rises and there doesn't seem to be enough room behind the door for something to remain otherwise hidden. What's going on here? Is it some sort of ritual? Don't close your eyes, because when you wake up tonight, this thing will be waiting for you. This kayak is surrounded by water for miles, and yet a tiny head or tentacle or something pokes up directly ahead and then goes back underwater. Maybe it's a beaver or a turtle, but the way it stays just out of sight but in their path is really weird. A pet snapping turtle doesn't take kindly to its owners and already has its mouth open. The warning sign goes unheeded, but thankfully one of his friends inadvertently saves him by getting his attentions moments before this happens.
He said, "What's up?"
This was almost a solid chunk of flesh taken out of his face, and a trip for medical attention for certain. A terrible demon has set up shop in this house, and Dennis from Dark Ghost Paranormal is about to face its wrath. The demon first makes its presence known in the wardrobe. With his nerves on edge, Dennis asks the demon to reveal himself.
Ответь мне, кто ты?
Then things get real creepy. Moments later, the demon's face appears on Dennis's camera, after which this happens. The demon has definitely been released, and if I were Dennis, I'd be careful. It seems like this one means business. What you are witnessing is rare underwater footage of a ningen, a gigantic sea creature apparently first spotted by Pacific fishermen sometime in the 90s. The name literally means human, and that's because they tend to have a round head along with 4 limbs and a skinny torso. The creature is about the size of a submarine, but looks rubbery and boneless. It appears to be mostly carried by ocean currents and has a limited control over its directional course. Since ningen sightings are so new, not much is known about these creatures aside from it having a preference for Arctic waters and a nocturnal sleep schedule. There's rumors about various government officials suppressing information from the public, so there's no telling what new ningen footage will leak in upcoming years. It really makes you wonder what other humanoid monsters are possibly being hidden from the world's eye. One creepy video shows us nature can be just as cruel underwater as it is above ground. A YouTuber named Trendy Outdoorsman is exploring the ice with his brother when they look down and find a really bizarre sight. A frozen bass is somehow sticking half out of the pond. They post a picture online, and after getting a huge response, the two return to the spot to make a video. When they carve it out, their discovery gets even weirder. The fish is trapped in the jaws of a large pike. Trendy Outdoorsman thinks the pike couldn't eat the bass and floated to the top. From there, it must have floated through an old ice fishing hole, which then resealed. I have no alternative explanation, so I agree with this theory, but I was wondering if there were any other theories as to what could have caused this freaky frozen fish incident to occur. This family is getting no sleep. TikToker Paranormal Replay shares this scary video whose original source is YouTuber Ama Media Channel. A mother and her children are sleeping on the floor when this happens. The lady moves the toy as though she's used to these types of strange occurrences, but not long after, it starts to move again. And then an object is flung from the sink. That one finally scares her awake, but as she's just settling back in, she hears this. What sounds like a hairdryer wakes her up again, but the next disturbance wakes them all. Did you see it? At the end, peering around the corner. Is the ring girl behind it all? Whatever it is, I won't be going back to sleep tonight. Two friends record a song on acoustic guitar, completely unaware of what lurks nearby. There is nothing behind them, but then a giant figure taller than the door itself peers at them through the glass. By the time the person who is singing leans forward and back, it's gone. When you zoom in, it almost looks like the head is completely detached from the body, or maybe it has a deep slash slash in the neck. Then again, since the alleged ghost doesn't appear to move at all, it could just be cheap editing. With that said, this was taken in 2007, so the video quality is actually very good for its time, and many think it could be real. This is what happens when a ghost is envious, published to YouTube by Morgan Sancombe in April of 2016. A girl sets up a camera in her bedroom to perform a short song, but it seems she isn't alone. In the background as she's singing, her closed door slowly opens and something sitting on her dresser topples over, or is it thrown by an envious ghost trying to sabotage her performance? The girl turns around in surprise, backing away before jumping over to shut the door again. Was this just a coincidence, a random series of perfectly logical events, or do we have a real paranormal encounter on our hands? An old hospital that was recently turned into an office building is experiencing some pretty strange activity lately, as you will soon see for yourself on this unsettling piece of security footage. Right there it starts. And that door just completely opens by itself. Just watch that one more time. So the door stays completely closed and then just out of nowhere starts opening. And like the title says, this building is completely empty when this happens. So unless there's potentially a window open, like some sort of draft, I just can't think of any other reason why this would be happening. To provide some context on this video, the owner of the office building has said that he has seen somebody standing in the corner of this room, but he didn't want to say it was anything paranormal because he was a skeptic. However, just to make sure nothing serious was going on, he called the local authorities, and about a week later, after an alarm went off in the building, they came down to the office to come take a look, but they were unable to find anybody or anything. After checking the security camera footage, this is what they saw. So is this a haunted office building, or just something easily explainable, like a bad door that opens on its own or something? Let me know what you think. Dogman sightings are being caught on tape more often than ever. Here are two separate dogman encounters taken by different people years apart that are remarkably similar. The first video was taken in 2015 after a neighbor noticed all the fruit had been picked from their apple and pear trees. It's late at night when this large creature with a broad face and beady white eyes comes up to the window for a closer look. It looks like the window is probably 7 or 8 feet from the ground. Judging from the lamppost across the way, this creature looks tall enough to reach up and pick fruit from a tree. Apparently all of the food outside has been eaten, and now they're thinking about coming in. I'm surprised at the lack of detail showing because it's standing in the light, so I'm not sure if this is fake. It looks like it wants to climb in but thinks better of it and eventually walks away. Real or fake? That video looks similar to a different dogman encounter years later. In this sighting, a mysterious creature watches from a window late at night, same as before. It has beady white eyes and on its head are 2 pointy ears, the signature trademark of a dogman sighting. This creature looks smaller than the other one, but its behavior is the same. It stares inside for a long time and then slinks away, and based on the sound it makes, whatever this creature is, it's far from human. Imagine you were walking past an abandoned factory when you saw this. Edge Ninja published this terrifying video in March of 2017, although it was recorded all the way back in 2013. Edge Ninja explains, the factory, as it was dubbed, had been an eerie fixture in our neighborhood since before my family even moved in. In 30 years, I never saw a single person or vehicle go in or out. The YouTuber walks around the building to confirm that the lights are flashing in multiple wings. Even creepier as Edge Ninja zooms in on a light in a stairwell near the end of the video. YouTuber Oreo the Wolf Fox points out a ghoulish image in the left window, what appears to be a face. Cue the shivers. This building is no longer abandoned. It was renovated and is now used as a factory for a watch company. One wonders if the new factory workers have crossed paths with this creepy figure in the window. This dashcam video shows traffic moving normally across 4 unobstructed lanes, when out of nowhere a woman appears in front of a black pickup truck. She keeps walking to the other side like nothing is wrong. The black pickup truck definitely hits its brakes, and the car behind them does so as well, which seems like a realistic response. Then again, there's clearly a red stoplight up ahead, so maybe they were braking for that instead. I don't know why this video is void of color. I'm assuming it's because black and white video would take up less space on the dashcam memory card, but it's safe to say that only a ghost would be able to do what this woman does. This unlucky fellow must have the strictest parents ever, because he's mowing his lawn in some pretty severe weather. A storm is rolling into St. Louis, Missouri, and things are about to get bad for him quickly.
Ellie, stay back. Man!
His neighbor tells him to get inside, but he refuses. Apparently, he either doesn't know or doesn't care that pushing a big piece of metal under a bunch of trees is a recipe to attract lightning. Even after almost getting stuck, the defiant neighbor continues to mow his yard as the weather gets worse. That's when the person recording decides they are standing outside too and takes their own advice. This neighbor may have beaten out the elements this time, but I don't know how many storms they can weather before they learn their lesson the hard way. Definitely don't do what they do unless you want to wind up struck by lightning. A father and son ghost hunting team are at an old graveyard somewhere in the south. They stumble upon a child's tombstone and get to work. The son attempts to communicate with the passed on child by planting an old pinwheel in the ground.
If there's a child out here that wants to play with this toy, feel free to make it move.
The father says that there is absolutely no wind on this night, so the pinwheel should not be able to move. To prove there is no wind, he records a tall blade of grass next to the tombstone and clearly shows that it's not moving. This child's gravestone is from the late 1800s. Pinwheels were probably very popular during this time, so it makes sense that the spirit would be excited and ready to play. Remember that guy who was caught on a Ring doorbell video licking someone's doorbell? Well, we've just found his soulmate. Posted in December of 2017, the footage shows a young blonde woman approach the doorbell. At first, it appears as if it was provoked by a dare. The woman walks up to the doorbell, holds up her hands strangely, as though she knows she's on candid camera, and then looks over to her right, as if looking at someone out of frame. But then she walks back, just standing awkwardly, looking around at random, before approaching the door again. Is she waiting for someone to answer? Maybe, but what she does while waiting is not normal. The woman opens her mouth wide, moving closer to the camera, and you can actually hear her bite. She then backs away again, as though nothing happened, appears to be waiting for a moment, then starts to do this. Well, it's all well and good to get your daily exercise in. Doing that on someone's doorstep late at night after biting their security camera seems a little out of it, don't you agree? Mina is making a TikTok video home alone when the door behind mysteriously creaks open to reveal an empty room on the other side. You can see she looks slightly confused but not scared as she turns around and then back again. This looks like a paranormal video at first, but look again. Follow the top of the door and you'll see that it's slightly ajar at the very beginning of the video. So this is probably just a draft blowing it open the rest of the way. There's no trickery to this one, nothing paranormal, but we guarantee it will make some of you very scared. Posted to TikTok by Madison Bergia, the spider reunion on this ceiling is sure to send everyone out the door, leaving their shadow behind them. Madison captured this enormous mama spider and all her little spider babies just chilling outside, down right above her. Most commenters say they're moving to Mars, while Luray fan page writes that his anxiety went through the roof watching this. We're with you, Larry. If you haven't panicked yet, now's the time. Just kidding. Most people think of houses, hospitals, or jails when they think about ghost sightings, but some of the most unsuspecting of places can turn out to be the most haunted. This footage was taken in a popular food joint during broad daylight. A shadowy ghost suddenly materializes in a Subway restaurant. It starts out in the shape of a human and almost appears to be getting a table. When it gets back to its seat, the black shadow suddenly changes into a floating black blob of an orb. At this point, an employee or maybe a customer appears to see the ghost in the doorway. Whoever they are, they look stunned for a second and then quickly back away. The shadow orb pays no attention to the human as it floats up to the window and lingers there. It's almost as if it's taking a look at the outside world. The ghost starts to rise even higher and shrinks until it fully disappears back to wherever it came from. While spending the night in an abandoned boarding house, the unthinkable happens. Published by Toppy in May of 2022, this paranormal crew captured whispers on camera, asking for help. These whispers are quite faint, but they think it sounds like a woman's voice. Shortly after, they hear footsteps at a distance. In a hallway of the boarding house, the team sets up a stationary camera. Apart from several EVPs, it captures this. A rock is kicked with great force down the length of the hall. Do former pupils still call this boarding house home? And what do they want with the living? A YouTuber named Spunkflunk recorded this video with the innocent intention of asking people to follow him on Google+. Little did he realize the paranormal moment that he accidentally caught while filming the video. If you look at the doll on the bed at the 29-second mark, you will clearly see that the doll moves its hand to the side and then back down.
Click add to circles and then just click following. That'd be awesome. It'll only take like a few seconds and that'll get me to 1,000 followers.
The fact that it moves its hand back down makes me think this video was not done by a string. In addition, most of his recent videos have nothing to do with the paranormal. What do you think caused this bizarre moment? This strange CCTV video captures a bizarre event that's worth taking a second look at. When played at normal speed, you'll see a blurry object show up for a brief moment and then disappear just as fast. Slow down the video and you'll see that this object is actually traveling at an impossibly fast rate of speed. It looks vaguely human and the CCTV is able to correctly identify a head, torso, and legs as indicated by the small purple quadrants. Maybe this is a camera malfunction, or maybe this is a rare sighting of a creature that should not exist. Is someone watching you while you sleep? Shared by YouTube channel blah blah, this scary video is trending in the Arabic-speaking YouTube community. Security camera footage captured this paranormal event on camera. Watch for the standing fan, but more terrifying is the sleeping woman's reaction. Fans can be automated and set to start at a certain time, so to me this is not necessarily a paranormal event, but then again, her response makes me second guess myself. I tracked this video down to the TikTok account at Jezebel TikTok, but I'm not sure if this is the original source. Judging by this woman's level of fear, I can't help but think that she saw or felt something else in the room, aside from a light breeze. What do you think is going on here? This London poltergeist is extremely aggressive. Captured at around 4 in the morning, YouTube channel The London Paranormal 1 shares this unbelievable footage. First, you just hear unexplained sounds off screen. But then it begins. And if that wasn't enough, this happens. The poltergeist sure likes making a mess. Either that or one of the fridge magnets is possessed, as YouTuber FlapZapple suggests. But that leads to a bigger question. Which one? Would you invite yourself into a demon's home? Published by Toppy in December of 2021. That's what this ghost hunter did, and he would live to regret it. He quickly realizes he is not alone. After hearing faint footsteps on the floor above, he sets up his camera in the darkness. That's when this happens. Later, he is trying to communicate with the poltergeist, and he receives an answer.
Это ты всех мучил здесь.
Will he heed the spirit's warning? No, he will not, and the demon doesn't like it.
Твою мать.
Would you stay a minute longer inside this haunted place? A minute seems too long to me. What's in the sky over Medellin, Colombia? Lorna Mascura shares this video of a dark unknown object aloft in the clouds. Let's take a look.
Okay, I have it in 4K mode now. Like the iPhone, I'm filming on iPhone 13 Pro. I need to zoom more. Guys, what the is that?
The object is far away and it's hard to make out any details from this clip, but it appears dark and doesn't look like it's moving. He captures the surroundings and returns to the unidentified flying object.
Honestly, I'm still... Is it a weather balloon, right?
This time it looks like a square or cube. A moment later, a plane passes at a distance.
Like, look, there's a plane. There's a plane because we have an airport here, like to the left, to the right, to the right of it. What is that?
The object remains still in the sky for nearly 3 minutes of the clip. Everyone in the comments is completely perplexed by this video, as am I. I have no clue what it could be. It does not look like a weather balloon at all, and I have no other theories considering it doesn't move. Share your ideas in the comments. What would you do if you saw this happen before your very eyes? Share to TikTok by Tigraz. This crazy video has me doing a double take. The footage shows a girl at a trampoline park jumping up and down like normal. At first, nothing's off, but then... After kneeling, she bends backwards, takes the opposite angles of each leg with her hands, and manages to fold herself around in such a bizarre way that you would think she's possessed. What is this madness? I think this girl is double jointed, also called hypermobile. This involves joints that can move beyond the typical range. About 20% of people are hypermobile, but many are not to this extent. At least there's no need for an exorcism. Blink and you'll miss it. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit. Power Startup writes, IDK, what's up with this video? It's slowed down and the voice sounds poorly acted, but when she turns the camera back around, look at the left staircase. As the woman in the video addresses an unseen presence called Joey, the camera pans from a rickety old stair to a darkened window for a moment. It's when she turns back that viewers are seeing something unusual. Redditor Paratrax writes, "That's a foot walking up the stairs," while others agree that it appears on the 3rd step to the bottom near the railing. Is this Joey? If so, he's not in the basement. Lady, he'd be right beside you. This ghost hunter is wandering down the hallway of an abandoned building when he sees this.
مين انت؟ انت مين؟
Published by Hassan Barbar in June of 2021, something is sitting behind that door at the edge of the hallway, and I'm pretty sure it's a djinn. The door bursts open to reveal that it is indeed one of the cloaked creatures of myth.
انت مين؟
Although the djinn does not move, the door keeps slamming shut and bouncing open again. This goes on for a long while, and finally the djinn makes a move.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah. Bismillah.
He disappears behind the shut door. Hassan approaches, and when he slams the door open and enters the room, he finds the djinn has vanished. As he looks for him, it seems like he is pushed from behind.
Bismillah.
Then in another room, objects are being smashed.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وانا مش عارف شو الباقي قاعد بيصير صراحة. بسم الله.
Will Hassan find the djinn again before it's too late?
حاسس في إشي وراي يا اخوان.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, you don't want this cryptic hand catching you by the toe. Published in October of 2019 by YouTuber Paranormal News, this video has taken Spanish social networks by storm. The clip at first appears sweet. A toddler is hiding on a shelf inside a burrow as her father coaxes her out of there. Watch as a Tales from the Crypt nightmare hand extends out, perhaps luring her further into the darkness. Did a chill just run down your spine? Someone get that baby out of there. This is insanely scary. Jessie Sims and her friend use a Ouija board only to discover they are surrounded by 3 spirits. She claims to get dizzy and asks if it's a good spirit she's talking to. The spirit gives them a negative response, so Jessie fights her panic and asks,
"Is this Zozo?"
The pointer stays over no. It's not Zozo after all. Still, they both have a bad feeling, so they decide to ask,
"What do you want from us?" Shut up.
You, the ghost responds. A short while later, Jesse's nose begins to gush red. After a series of unexpected passings in his family, YouTuber Slightly Scared 2012 experienced this. Do you see a face in the fabric? The YouTuber believes it's his departed cousin's face. The cousin in question passed away, falling from a highway overpass, and within hours, this face appeared on the seat of the chair while the YouTuber was sitting in it. I wish we had a picture of his cousin to compare, but nevertheless, I definitely see a face here, but whether it's pareidolia or not is the big question. Some souls darken the doorways of haunted homes, others grow as bright as they lived. Published by Sajid Hussein in August of 2021, this Nest Cam caught an unusual anomaly on this dark street at night. The video shows a vibrant figure glowing in the yard opposite the camera. The bright figure appears to be moving. It radiates while still for a moment before moving in a flash to a position about a foot away. The light then dims before glowing brightly again. It then enters into the street, glowing and spreading like fire. Throughout this, at times it looks like one entity and at other times two. At the end of the clip, the light subsides and disappears altogether. Where did the spirit go? Maybe this is the moment it crossed over. YouTuber Om Vlogs stayed in this haunted hotel for 24 hours and they didn't get a wink of sleep. It all began with the closest doors.
गेट ना अभी खुला प्रियांक प्रियांक उठ ये देखो ये अबे ये देख सामने देख गेट ये देख
They slam closed but then open again. They open wide enough to reveal that there's no one inside.
क्या करें जाके देखो देख अभी मूवमेंट है देख मूवमेंट है ये भी ये पूरा खुल गया देख
Later, they believe something is in the bathroom. Watch for the shadow in the corner. While the YouTuber thinks that this is a shadow person, I think it could belong to him. Watch it again. Could it just be the way this light falls in the bathroom? Share your opinion in the comments. Neutralizer Ghosts is the name of a paranormal investigation channel in Indonesia that has some really creepy videos. Beyond the outskirts of town lies a ghost colony, and sometimes a paranormal entity or two will wander into some local houses to haunt. This one looks small and frail, bound tightly in burial garbs. It has sentience and follows the investigator's movements with its head. He talks to it for a little bit and seems to ask questions in the hopes that it will answer.
Aku yo kesel ket mangga sekitar ngetera nemu apa-apa. Saya gak nek tak barbari. Ini enaknya kita apain teman-teman sih.
The mysterious figure never offers an explanation. They never seem to. He attempts to rip off its face covering and the spirit quickly disappears. He checks all around the area and no longer sees or senses it's near. The paranormal exploration continues for a while until he's convinced the town is clear. Maybe next time he'll get a hold of its robes and finally reveal the spirit figure's true face. A YouTuber named the Spyro Gamer has a mysterious problem with his PS4 controller that I don't think is covered by the warranty. The unexplained video begins with him turning the controller on, and the light on the top remains solid like normal, but whenever he passes by this area of his room...
Is in my cover, so if I go over here... There, look, see? See? See that?
The controller flashes in a mysterious way and then turns off. No matter what he does, the controller refuses to stay on in the closet. Keep in mind it was able to stay on normally when he was on his bed, so the controller appears to be set up properly and not broken. The unexplained video starts to make a little more sense when you consider ghosts supposedly can disrupt electronic equipment, and that's when the ghost stops trying to hide.
I think it's gone. Yeah. Oh, oh.
He feels something walk by, the controller turns off, and then the door slams. Freaky, right? The Chernobyl power plant left this place covered in radiation in 1986. Only recently was a small part reopened for tourism in 2011. The rest is still too radiated and therefore off limits. Russian YouTuber Vlad Reznov wants to test these limits. He goes exploring the woods and finds an old abandoned cottage that would be perfect for a 24-hour challenge. Night falls. Roving cliques are rumored to be out here. Families aggressively changed by radiation who don't like outsiders, and they know he's here. They can't get inside because he's tied the doorknob to the bedpost, so they can't go around the outside.
Не знаю, что мне делать. Просто... Не знаю...
Now is his chance. He opens the door while they are trying to get in through a window. Not sure if there is more waiting for him inside, and expecting to get jumped around every corner. The bike is outside. He has to get to his bike. He makes it out of there, but there's an overall lack of urgency to this video that makes me think it could be fake. We don't ever get to see this mutant family, so it could be one of his friends opening the door. They probably found an abandoned house and thought it would be a good place for a scary video, but I guess we'll never know for sure. A YouTuber from San Antonio, Texas, named Dylan James TV records a deep moan that fills the night sky. Take a listen and give me your best guess as to what this mysterious noise could be.
I hope you can hear that.
After a while, it grows closer and louder until the sound breaks directly overhead, yet nothing is visible. What's especially strange is the comments for this video. Other people from as far as Florida admittedly claim to have heard this exact same noise. Apparently it happens for 5 minutes at a time, at which point it stops as abruptly as it began. Watch the left side of your screen for something creepy. A large figure is bouncing up and down at the side of the road trying to get their attention. What they see when they drive past leaves them creeped out for life. This screenshot taken at exactly 7 seconds shows a weird fish-like head turning one oversized eye towards the camera for a closer look. I was thinking this could be like a company mascot or something, but they aren't standing in front of a business and they aren't holding a sign. Has this car full of friends caught an authentic unknown creature sighting on camera like they claim? I wish they would have driven back around for another look, but I can understand them not wanting to risk it. If you saw this on your home security camera, what would you think? According to Johnny Smither333, who posted the video to the Ghosts subreddit, the strange capture came from his living room's motion detection camera. Whatever this flash is had enough presence to set off the camera, but it's unclear what that blur might be. While many in the comments say it's a bug, others like SPM Wiggy offers more creative suggestions. She writes, "It's a tiny witch on a matchstick. Clearly you can see the hat and the giant witch nose." Another Redditor suggests that it could be gremlins. The Redditor says that in slow motion, it looks like it appeared out of thin air. He also notes that as soon as it gets closer to the camera, it doesn't look like any bug he's seen. Have you seen a bug that looks like this? I know that's likely the culprit in cases of videos like this, but I definitely agree I've never seen a bug that looks like this before. Therefore, there's at least a reasonable chance this is truly paranormal. This video, supposedly leaked by a former NASA employee while orbiting the Earth from space, apparently shows the fabled Black Knight satellite in action. According to theorists, the Black Knight satellite is actually thousands of years old and made by extraterrestrials, not humans. Many people believe that NASA is going to great lengths to cover up the existence of this foreign object, as well as whoever created it. The video itself looks pretty old, possibly from the 60s or 70s. The quality is grainy due to either aging or CGI effects. Based on what you've seen here, tell me if you think this is a real cover-up or just video editing. Ghost hunter Simply Sarat has a profoundly paranormal experience while exploring a haunted house in India. He sets a wind-up toy on the ledge of a window as a way for a ghost to communicate its presence. They are kind of goofing around when suddenly things get very serious and very creepy. They think laughter is coming from the window, but then they hear more scary stuff from above. They run into the room with the wind-up toy, only to hear more noises following close behind. Running footsteps sends them rushing out of the house, and as they flee, the wind-up toy moves by itself. He holds it up to the camera to make sure the paranormal evidence is caught on tape. He has one hand on the camera and one hand holding the toy. There's no tie for him to have wound it up. And the wind-up toy somehow continues to move on its own as they run into the forest away from the abandoned haunted house that has scared them so terribly bad. A Russian YouTuber named Fikfos decides to feed a bear a late-night fish snack through his window. There's only one problem. Supplies are limited, and the bear seems to want to help itself to everything at once. Multiple times it has to be reminded to mind its manners, and at 24 seconds you can see for yourself that I'm not exaggerating when I say its paw is the size of your head, with long black claws the size of your whole finger. Feeding time becomes less fun when you realize the only way to close this window is by reaching out into the darkness past the hungry bear's mouth to grab this latch. They wait until it walks away satisfied before closing the window. Thankfully, it didn't try to get in this time, but bears have a long memory, and surely it will be back when it's hungry. Perhaps next time for them if no fish is available. A 4-circuit CCTV system in Japan shows a woman waiting to get an elevator, but what we're looking at is the woman in the upper right monitor who is about to do the impossible. Did you see it? If not, I'll show you again. This does appear to be at least somewhat edited, especially when you pause halfway through and get that green screen look, but maybe it's just a glitch with the video file, and I need to accept the possibility that it could actually be real. A YouTuber named Brett Johnson says there is a ghost in the hallway of his house haunting him every night when he returns from work, and what's most bizarre is that the paranormal activity only happens in the hallway. The ghost doesn't seem to care about haunting any other places. It's not a draft either. Even with a big fan blowing the opposite way, a ghost still closes the door, and when he puts his camera down and waits for 2 hours, the door behind the fan mysteriously opens. It's like the ghost is messing with his mind. I would say that this is a fake video except for one thing. When he investigates the rest of his house to show us, nothing is there. A weird noise happens nearby, like something passes right by him, and it seems to have left through the front door. A YouTuber named Philip DeFranco is busy analyzing the news for his channel when somebody barges into his home office unannounced.
Come in. Hi. Oh, are you looking for, Who are you looking for? Anyone?
The unseen voice calmly says that they are basically looking for anyone related to the show to talk to.
What's that? Oh wait, can you open?
I'm a fan.
Philip DeFranco handles the situation remarkably well and does not overreact. The fan appears shy and not much of a threat. The fact that he was willing to look up his address and then wander over could mean that he's not all there mentally. Based on what you've seen, tell me if you think this fan was generally curious or up to no good. Maybe he was snooping around for a souvenir to take and got caught. William Hernandez has a serious problem to deal with. He claims that every day the same red truck pulls over in front of his home and watches him and his wife. William finally breaks down and sets up a CCTV system for proof. The very next day, the same red truck stops across the street right after they pull into the driveway, almost like he followed them home. William calmly snaps a photo of the driver's license plate, and the truck quickly takes off. He's posted numerous updates to his channel since this incident, but it's unclear if he was ever able to identify who was watching him and his family. Two co-workers at a radio station are hearing really strange noises from the basement and want to investigate. They recently heard that a nearby building was haunted and decided to see if the paranormal activity was spreading to their area. The woman in this video says that she went downstairs to get some water and heard these really strange noises.
Can you hear it?
I don't know if you guys can hear that. I can hear it.
It sounds like screaming.
Yeah, it sounds like there's like screaming coming from the pipes.
Or like growling or something weird.
They are talking about how old the building is as they walk down an old stairway to the basement entrance. The noise is growing louder the entire time. They take a deep breath and head to the final stretch of their journey. Eventually, they come across a rather ominous sign.
If you've ever seen a horror movie, you see this sign and obviously you don't keep out, you go in.
No, you don't, you stay out.
The person filming bravely walks in and the video ends. We'll never know if this was a paranormal entity or just common boiler room problems. Listen closely, you might not be hearing things. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit, the Redditor explains that she was home alone with her daughter, watching a kid's show when she heard an old man clearing his throat and speaking in the background of the video she was filming.
Come on.
Many others in the thread hear the voice too, with Redditor temperamental elements saying it sounds like the man says, "What?" The Redditor asks, "Do you have any male relatives that have passed? Maybe they're back to see your baby girl." Boss said that the child's great-grandpa had passed away a little over a year ago. Perhaps great-grandpa is reaching out. Should they reach back? The Waverly Hills Sanitarium in Kentucky has been condemned since the early 60s, though the spirits of its former inhabitants are thought to still roam its rubble-filled halls. Lindsay Rogers leads a ghost hunting team through the dark asylum, and it isn't long before they are engulfed by paranormal activity.
What the? Holy sh!
It sounds like a door opens, and you can see Lindsay looks right, but the door is still shut. There's a second banging noise that almost sounds like a body hitting the ground. Though without more video footage, we'll never know for sure. This footage was taken in 2011. A man is wandering the woods in Pennsylvania when his flashlight chances upon one of the most popular humanoids of all time. The Sasquatch is devoid of pigment and doesn't put up much of a fight, instead taking off as soon as the flashlight beam hits its face. Notice not only how fast it runs, but also how silently it moves. Somehow it was able to watch the cameraman from less than 10 feet away and get away with hardly any noise. A YouTuber named For Your Viewing Pleasure just keeps having paranormal problems caught on their outdoor camera. This ladder falls straight over for no reason at all, but you'll never guess what else. Motion sensor lights go off right before it happens. It must be a ghost or the wind. So the question is whether or not wind can set off motion activated lights. Apparently the answer is yes, but only if the sensitivity option is set too high. Since we don't know what this camera settings were, we don't know what was caught on tape, but all I do know is this would be freaky to see outside of my house, that's for sure. Sometimes if you want to know if a room is haunted or not, all you have to do is ask.
Move it. Holy sh**.
It's creepy, but I'm not sure this object really moved on its own. It sounds like a fan is blowing from side to side and could have moved the object instead of a ghost. Tell me if you hear it.
Holy sh**.
He might have put the bottle at just the right distance to make it seemingly move upon his command. Is this moment paranormal to you? I'm on the fence with this one. Cryptid Hunter and two of his friends are returning to a cave that they believe to be haunted. This time they are using a paranormal investigative technique that I have never seen before. They bring dolls with them into the cave that they believe are already haunted. They want to see how the spirits in the dolls react to the spirits in the cave. They also use long, thin rods that the spirits can use to respond to questions.
Can you please point the rod to the most haunted doll that's inside his mind? Alright, there it goes again.
Then the spirits in the cave apparently decide to skip the rods and make their presence known in a much more physical way.
What the f was that?
The smooth cave walls probably have little traction, so the doll could have just fallen over on its own. Then again, maybe it was really pushed over by an unseen spirit. Clearly the doll somehow moved. So those are the only two explanations I have. Let me know which one you think it was. If you've ever wondered whether or not exorcisms are real, here is your answer. Published to YouTube in April of 2020, the supposedly possessed woman in the video is making hissing and rasping noises as her exorcist lays a hand on her. Another young man holds her wrists. She opens her mouth like a snake, ready to strike, while she continues to hiss and rasp at them. In a second clip, her expression appears almost normal for a moment, but a second later, her eyes roll into the back of her head, and she hisses strangely, arching her back until her body is up from the couch. Before slumping over, like the demon has left her. You may be skeptical about possessions, but this woman does not look like she is acting. We can only hope the demon did leave and is gone for good. A YouTuber called Wet Tent catches a poltergeist in action in his home. As evidenced by this slamming door, he shows that there is nobody on the other side and then waits for it to happen again. It's creepy until you see his window is open, so it could be a breeze. And here at 13 seconds, you can see a tag on his covers move in the wind. I just wanted to show this video because I think that it could help explain other videos with slamming doors. Still, I would not totally discount this video. Wet Tent should make a new one with the window closed and see if it still happens. Everyone wants to feel safe and alone in their own home. What happens when you find out you're not? Posted to YouTube in June of 2019, the YouTuber writes, "Man finds creature in ceiling crawl space that apparently laughs at him." The man in the video explains that he's not a believer in the supernatural. He's a skeptic, but sitting alone on the couch in his home that day, he started hearing a noise coming from the roof or the ceiling. He said he could hear it in the light in his living room, so he decided to investigate. In a closet in his home, there's a small hole, big enough to stick a camera through, but it doesn't look quite large enough for a normal-sized human to squeeze through. When he does get his camera up there, you can see your normal everyday attic crawl space, but over in the corner, in the darkness are two large orbs, a pair of eyes. He sticks the camera back up there, and the eyes appear for a second again before blinking closed as he asks the creature what it is, expecting a response from what looks to be an animal. A child or a toy's doll laughter rings through the darkness. Is Chucky in this man's attic, or does that raccoon simply have a very strange cold?
Squirrel? Raccoon? Oh, it closed its eyes. Oh my god. That's
One thing's for sure, you don't want to hear that laughter coming from anywhere in your home. A perfectly normal eyeball is about to almost pop, and you'll never guess how. Don't try this. Ronnie Taslim pulls his lower lid as far down as it will go. His eye turns a nasty shade of red as he looks up, and with 3 fingers slowly presses the lower section out of the socket. With his eyeball bulging halfway out, he rolls his upper lip back like a shirt sleeve to reveal the full eye, and you'll never guess what happens from there. The entire eye is an angry red at this point, but instead of bursting and rolling down his cheek like I thought it would, the eye somehow turns normal looking again at 1 minute and 40 seconds. Ronnie is somehow able to alleviate the intense pressure, causing his eye to fill with red fluid, and stuffs it back into its socket before any lasting damage is done. My question, aside from how he is able to do this to begin with, is how many more times does he have left before his poor eye gives out and gushes all over the camera? A person in Ukraine was filming a calm river one evening just in time to capture a humanoid-looking creature cross underneath of a bridge using all fours. As the footage shows, something is grabbing onto the underside of a bridge and silently making its way across. Exactly what the creature is remains a debate online to this day. Some people have pointed out that this could be a human, but others have noticed how its legs and arms appear to be the exact same length. It almost looks like it could be an animal, but I'm not aware of any animal from this region that likes to hang upside down from bridges. Besides, if someone had to go underneath a bridge like that for whatever reason, then they would either hang from their arms or else hug the bridge tightly while creeping across. This thing, on the other hand, just swings across the bottom like it's no big deal. Human or not, this thing definitely has a very bizarre center of gravity as it moves. This baby is being filmed looking at his own reflection in the mirror, but when he turns around to look at his parents, his reflection does not follow his movements. I guess the parents must have put this footage online to see if people thought this was a real paranormal incident or not. The only other thing I can think of is computer effects, but you couldn't fake this baby's reaction, and he looks genuinely scared by this reflection. 2 days prior to this video, YouTuber The Series of Tubes' house was broken into. Now he is riding around his neighborhood when he sees a suspicious person who looks out of place. Upon questioning, the man claims that he has lived in this neighborhood since 1992. The two have never met before, but somehow he knows exactly where this YouTuber lives.
Oh yeah, you guys are kind of in that little dark little corner area too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally...
The longer they talk, the less sense the stranger makes, especially when he randomly pulls out a huge crowbar without prompting and says this.
Yeah, I was laying on the sidewalk.
You found that?
Yeah, just laying around on the sidewalk, right? You know?
Yeah, I could.
The crowbar looks large enough to easily pry open a door or window and gain entry. I'm not sure what his intentions are. Maybe he really did find it laying around, or maybe he is up to no good. Tell me if you believe him when he says this next part, especially with all of the other things I've shown you.
Yeah, you can even ask the cops. I'm a good guy. It's alright.
It's all good.
The series of tubes remains friendly enough throughout the conversation, but does mention that he has a firearm in his house that he doesn't want to use on anyone. The two part ways, at least for now. Look what happens when this ghost investigator decides to confront the spirit of a person who supposedly took another man's life in this room.
Did you shoot that man? Did you shoot him because you were scared?
A pale figure peeks out from the doorway. As soon as its presence is called upon, no one seems to notice, probably because it was so low. Is this the spirit they are looking for, or just some light hitting the hall at a weird angle? While at their friend's mountain house, this party found a series of tiny handprints on the door. The only problem? They match none of their hands. THAXTJ2 published this mysterious video to YouTube. Let's have a look.
Whose little hand
fingerprints?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
On the door.
They're tiny. We have a ghost.
And wait, they both go the same way.
We have a ghost.
But no, she went.
The prints are very small, even child-sized.
On the door. They're tiny.
The YouTuber writes that none of their hands were wet either. So what created these marks? Seems to me like yet another child ghost. I'm starting to think this place is haunted. Published by LANH-TV New in March of 2022 and originally published by Knob Team Explore. This scary video reveals that the real haunting happens just out of sight. As the cameraman walks us through an abandoned structure, he rounds a corner where two bright lights are spotted blinking in the dark distance of the surrounding forest. What are they? He whistles and walks toward them. But before we can get to the bottom of that mystery, something starts rattling off to the left. The cameraman turns in the sound's direction and he starts to approach the rattling. Rounding another corner, he finds that this door is the culprit. He calls out and then runs away.
Tuh. Assalamualaikum.
Turning around, he captures this hanging from the rafters. It appears to be a small pair of legs. The rest of the figure's body remains out of sight. When he turns around and casts the camera back, the figure is no longer there. What is this horror? Something that's gonna stay with me for a long time, that's for sure. A YouTuber named Phoebe Mayhew made a scary face swap video from 2016 that's still an unsolved mystery to this day. And I'm hoping this is the year we can find an answer. So Phoebe makes a joke about having no friends to face swap with when this invisible presence takes her up on her generous offer to change faces.
Hello, anyone want it?
The eerie apparition is apparently above her, and she switches places with something peering in from the highest point of the door. So the only thing in the corner that possibly looks like a face would be the overhead lighting. But when Phoebe tries to recreate the situation, nothing happens.
But it's definitely not the light it was doing it to. Because the light's over there and it's not doing it now.
Like I said, I don't see anything else in that doorway that could have set off the face swap. Do you? It makes me wonder if something tall and creepy was watching her and then vanished. Mysterious rare creatures walk this earth, and most of us will never get a chance to see them. Until now. Shared by YouTuber Satpam Horror, this creature is known as a parakang in Indonesian. And this is what it sounds like. If this isn't some expert makeup, then I am 100% terrified. The sound coming from this creature also makes my skin crawl. Its glowing eyes and small sharp teeth look demonic. One thing's for sure, I would never search for this creature. This creepy randonautica led YouTuber Jasko Vlogs to Devil's Forest, and he was met with this mysterious call of the wild.
Oh, trying to see if there's any. Bro?
What was that?
I don't know what that was, but it sounded afraid. They then find this bizarre shelter.
Alright. Looks like someone built some type of shelter here or something. I don't know. Or maybe it's just...
What is it for? Jasko is right that it's not natural. Shortly after, they feel like they're being followed.
Walking towards us right now. I don't know if it's that same person, but let's get out of here.
While I'm uncertain if they are or not, I do think it's smart to put some distance between them and that mysterious shelter. Imagine waking up to this unwanted guest rummaging through your stuff. Published by Luke Nelson in October of 2020, this Nest camera captured an unexpected guest in this resident's home in Tahoe City, California at around 2 in the morning. The footage shows a small black bear breaking in through the kitchen window. It then crawls across the counter, sticking its snout into various dishes before easing down to have a gander. The bear pulls stuff off shelves, grabs a bottle in its jaws, and delivers it outside the window, and then heads back to look for more treasure. The thief keeps grabbing items and placing them outside the window, as if preparing for his getaway. He is seen wandering freely around the downstairs, even heading upstairs for a look-see, where he hung out outside the resident's locked bedroom door. He was there a total of 4 hours, finally leaving out the window the way he came around 6 a.m. What treasures did he make off with? I'm not sure, but I hope the residents put a lock on that window. An urban explorer decides to check out a house that has a reputation for being beyond scary. If only he knew. Upstairs, he finds an open closet that he decides to explore, like he has done with everything else in the house so far, a decision he soon regrets. Large fingers wrap around the corner and send him running down the stairs as something screams behind him. I really wanted this not to be real, so I kept reading through the comments, but the uploader never says it's fake. A lot of people think it's real, but the low resolution makes me think it's edited, or at least I really hope so. Outside of their apartment, a husband and wife capture a strange reflection in the window that is too curious to ignore. They grab an infrared camera, and this mysterious, unexplained video is what they've caught on tape.
Bizarre.
At the very beginning of this video, 3 seconds in to be precise, a full zoom does appear to have caught a possibly real ghost sighting on video in greater detail. You can discern a tuft of her white hair, the folds of her robe, her older looking face, and what direction she is facing, theirs. As soon as they turn on the lights for a better look, the figure is gone.
That was bizarre. Same window. Same window, and there's nothing there now, no matter what I do. Bizarre.
And when he switches the camera back into infrared mode, the mode he first detected the spirit with, it does not return.
There's infrared. Right there on that curve. I know it. I know it, right on that side. It's back to normal. There's just nothing there.
It's almost as if nothing was ever there to begin with, and yet the paranormal evidence caught on camera proves at one point there was. Maybe they were holding something up to the glass to make it reflect this image and took it away, though I don't know what that something would be. Dennis from YouTube channel Dark Ghost Paranormal is tracking some ghosts in an abandoned house, and it quickly goes sideways. Something is banging in this hallway. He gets closer to the refrigerator. Is something inside? More sounds throw Dennis off track. What was that? A second Steadicam may have captured what was causing this noise from another angle. Did you see that? Watch again closely. A shadow figure flees down the hallway. To me, it seems more like it escaped the fridge and moved off to make noise elsewhere. Where did it go, though? Better not follow. I think Dennis is not safe here. A YouTuber named CTV911 is on his way to see the new Star Wars movie when the crowded mall elevator abruptly stops, leaving him stuck with other worried passengers. I can't exactly tell for sure, but I think one of them might be trying to force the doors open here, maybe to get more air into the elevator. Watch this part and let me know what you think they are trying to tell him not to do.
Please.
Hey, anybody up there?
It's getting unbearably hot in here.
Have you tried the phone again to let them know someone's going down?
I could only imagine what would have happened if he had managed to actually get the doors open. After about 9 minutes, one of the passengers breaks down and has a full-blown panic attack.
You don't have a medicine at all?
It isn't until 40 minutes later that help finally arrives. Firefighters can't get the doors open, so they have to bust in through the top of the elevator. Their welcome entrance nonetheless sends shrapnel down on the waiting crowd.
Watch your eyes, guys. There's screws everywhere, too.
I'm still
going up?
lawyer.
Hey, can I have it? Yeah, you can have it. We don't want it. Hey, we're trying to help.
They somehow squeeze a ladder into the elevator and send everyone up one by one. The YouTuber misses his movie but is glad he no longer has to spend another moment stuck in that cramped space. Ghost hunting YouTuber D-Dog Michael finds what he's looking for in this terrifying video. As he explores this abandoned place, the sounds are undeniable.
저기요. 소리야? 누구 있죠?
He hears another noise, like murmuring.
뭔 소리야? 뭐라는 거야?
He then hears a snapping noise, like something walking, and for a moment he thinks he sees something.
어? 잠깐만 가지 잠깐만 와 다시 가지 말고.
Then there's a jingling right next to him. A series of unexplained events happen. Later in that same room, more mysterious things unfold.
조금만 둘러보고 나가겠습니다.
It almost sounds like he's choking. Things get darker from there.
에휴, 에휴.
Michael hears something, and then he sees it. Here it is again. There's definitely a shadow moving in the darkness. Is it a person or a spirit? My vote is for the latter, because I don't think I've ever seen a creepier house. What is hiding in this deep dark cave in Romania? This crew of adventure seekers is about to find out. Watch closely in the darkness.
Hai să mă urmă. Hai mă că mă acolo în bac până.
Da, și mă, cum să te urci, mă?
Ii mă, ține camera că mă urmă.
N-ai cum să te urci, doamne.
Astea sunt momente de nu se poate așa ceva. Cum să mă urmă? Păcați pe ăla.
What is that lump? It looks like an animal sleeping.
Da, și mă, te lovești, n-ai nimic, ai echipat la tine.
De ce să te ții? Nu. Pe margine, mă, ce-i ditul? Ia, mă, ce? Uite-te sus, uitați-l sus, mă.
The guys appear scared of the mysterious creature, and they start to make their way out of the cave. Their camera goes berserk.
Ai leși ce mare, frate. Ai de pula mea.
Did they just escape from the cave creature of Romania Borsec? Personally, I think this was just a trick of the light, but I still get the chills from this clip. I'm staying far away from caves either way. While exploring an abandoned paper mill, the crew from YouTube channel Blow6 captured two mysterious events simultaneously, an EVP and an apparition. To me, the apparition is clear as day. You see it emerge from the right to the center of the screen, as if it's drifting down the tunnel, but the EVP is not as clear. It sounds like a bird cawing. That's not the only mysterious thing about this clip. I also noticed a strange flicker in the light at the beginning of the video. Watch the backlight closely. Was that a camera glitch? Or is some entity fiddling with the light switch? I think this phantom is up to something. This ghost doesn't want to be hunted. Published by Turkish channel HD Adam in November of 2021. The team is here to investigate the case of Gene Hoka. As they case the joint, they find dozens of nails strewn on the floor. Is there a meaning behind this? They're looking down another hallway and something hits at a curtain in the window. When the cameraman runs over to look out of it, you can see this window is on an upper floor and there's no one around. In another room, they find a glass, again with nails inside. The team wants to know what this means and asks viewers to share. Do you have any ideas? It might be the next step in solving this mystery. Are you alone in the dark? Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Citizen ZTV. This brave cameraman invites whatever lurks in the darkness to come and say hi. Be careful what you wish for. While wandering through the cemetery, this paranormal device picks up not only noises or greetings, but a figure that appears as though it's stalking him.
You can come and say hi. You're just gonna go for a wander.
The figure looks like it's walking slowly for a moment, then it disappears. Is this just a glitch, or was there something walking alongside this explorer in the darkness? A YouTuber named Fauzi Ki Danaya of Pakistan has caught some creepy things on tape while exploring a haunted building that used to be a school. It doesn't take very long for the scary stuff to begin.
क्या आप जिन हो? अल्लाह 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 अल्लाह। ये कैसी आवाज़ है यार?
His ghost meter detects a presence in this room shortly before the paranormal activity ramps up a lot and a window slams shut on its own.
रात में नहीं हुई। इस जगह पे जो भी चीज़ मौजूद है, ये कैमरा भी घूमे जा रहा है, ब्लर क्यों हो रहा है बार बार? क्यों ब्लर हो रहा है ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा मुझे।
A final loud crash sends him running out of the building to see what's making all of the noise. All he finds is a stray cat outside, which he suspects is a shape-shifting jinn because no cat would walk towards all that commotion. I'm not so sure about all that, but I do think it's strange how this classroom is the only place where weird haunted things get caught on camera. Exploring the rest of the haunted school reveals no other paranormal activity, just whatever's by this window. Proving demons right. On our paranormal investigation at a haunted hotel, we capture a real shadow person hat man on video. Are you wondering what a hat man is? Let Dana Matthews from the site Week in Weird explain the phenomena. According to Matthews, shadow men came creeping out of the shadows in 2011 when paranormal radio personality Art Bell cast a light into the darkness on his radio show Coast to Coast AM, and the result was a burgeoning community of people coming forward, explaining their encounters with these phenomena. Out of this shadow people phenomena, another slightly different experience arose, encounters with the Hat Man. Much like shadow people, the Hat Man often appears at nighttime, wearing a wide-brimmed hat, hence the name. Those who encounter him have described him as a solid black mass, darker than a shadow without discernible facial features, and no describable lower body. Apart from a long flowing trench coat, the Hat Man is often seen floating and moves without sound, quite frequently in a basement setting. Another quality of this phenomena is that the Hat Man tends to appear in places of high negative energy and family dysfunction. This video shows either a Hat Man or shadow figure haunting this generally creepy house. The figure flies down a hallway, disappearing into a distant room as the ghost investigators search the house's interior. So what's going inside this house? Is it haunted? The Hat Man phenomena is often a recurring one for many people, from childhood to adulthood. Some believe shadow people are evil, like physical medium Amy Allen, who thinks they are interdimensional entities. Although the Hat Man and the shadow person might seem one and the same, they do indeed appear to be two separate entities. If you see a Hat Man, consider your family dynamics and the energy of your relationships. Does this video make you believe in Hat Men and shadow figures? If so, don't turn around. A small cluster of weird deep-sea creatures seem to be embedded inside a piece of coral that broke off and floated ashore. One of the creatures is still moving and seems to retreat from the camera upon getting sighted. I wonder what they look like out of their coral encasement, probably even scarier. Anyway, no one has identified these unknown creatures in the comments, and the uploader of this video describes them only as weird creatures at the beach and leaves it at that. So let's help solve the mystery and figure out what these are. A YouTuber named Adam Edwards is making a Disneyland vlog when suddenly something sinister decides to make an unwanted guest appearance behind him.
Hey guys, so today we're in Disneyland and I'm gonna look out the new ride.
Two hands reach out for him from behind a red curtain with long gnarled fingers. Adam quickly turns the corner and finds nothing where the hands just were. He goes back around the corner, and as soon as he starts talking, the hands return, yet when he checks again, nothing's there. I did notice that he never checks around the floor, so this could be a pre-planned prank. If that's the case, I'm guessing his friend was on the other side and they ducked down as soon as Adam went around the corner. Still, let me know if you recognize this part of Disneyland and if you've ever experienced anything similarly strange there. A YouTuber named Visually Creeped TV is walking around a cemetery in Wisconsin when he hears creepy whistling from within a crypt that is locked and 100 years old. Take a look and try to tell me which direction you think it's coming from.
Let's go walk down here.
What the The only thing I find odd is that he initially looks in the opposite way of the crypt. When he first hears the noise, if the whistle was truly coming from inside of the crypt, I think he would instinctively turn the other way. He quickly walks around the crypt to verify no one is around, and then he hears the whistle again, this time where he just was moments ago.
Oh, like right behind me.
Hello?
Overall, there's no easy way to fake this video. It doesn't really sound like speakers or anything like that, and it does sound like it's coming from inside of this structure, but the gates are chained shut. What is lurking on this roof at night? Published by Scary Labs in July of 2021, this paranormal team captured something unearthly prowling atop a roof in the darkness. The figure captured is bright green, almost digital in nature. It appears to be something in a hooded robe. First looking toward the crew, the figure turns and walks away. The crew doesn't seem to notice the figure at the moment, though it's captured again on camera as they walk toward the building. When they light a candle, the resistance registers again, but this time just its outline. This time they see it and run off in fear. The figure can be seen again still looming on the roof behind them. While many in the comments say this is next level editing, some are more inspired by the Oscar-worthy acting. We can probably gather that this is fake, but those who believe it's real are legendary.
ऊपर क्या है भाई? ऊपर देखो भाई. भाई. मोमबत्ती फेंको भाई. ओए मोमबत्ती फेंको. चलो भाई. चलो चलो चलो.
Patrick Janssen goes into the basement to retrieve some belongings, among them a camera. When he sees something out of the corner of his eye, he decides to start recording all around him since he has his camera anyway, and he's surprised by what he finds. Here it is again in slow motion, a black shadow passing from left to right as he walks forward. A shadow that looks different than his own is shown here at 32 seconds, which looks normal and comes from the proper angle. So tell me if Patrick is just good at video editing, or if there's truly a shadow person in his home, because I think something could be living down there rent-free.
Over on the r/ghosts subreddit, a user named Cam Sunkissed shares a video of a home surveillance recording on his front porch while a pizza delivery driver drops off the order at the house. Seems fairly normal right now, but this simple pizza delivery turns into something much more terrifying in just a matter of seconds. Very clearly, you can just hear somebody's voice. It's almost like a whisper, and it doesn't seem to catch the pizza delivery man's attention. It's just very bizarre and out of place here. I'll just play it one more time. Just listen very, very closely. Amazingly, it doesn't even seem as if the pizza delivery driver even hears anything, so maybe this bizarre sounding voice was only audible once listening to the recording and not in person. That would definitely explain why the driver has no reaction whatsoever as soon as the voice starts speaking, but I would like to imagine that if he did hear it, he would be a little bit freaked out and would probably quickly drop the order off and leave immediately. One commenter says it sounds like perhaps Spanish, and he thinks the voice could be saying, "Do you listen to me?" Of course, this is just speculation, so take it with a grain of salt, but either way, this is one voice you certainly wouldn't want to hear on your security camera. YouTuber Joey Image announces that he's going to explore the hidden room in his parents' home, but don't tell his parents. He hasn't been in the room since he was a kid, so who knows what they have hidden inside now. The secret room is covered by a painting and the door is artfully camouflaged into the wooden panels of the wall. Joey pries the hatch open and it pulls out completely from the wall. He notes that it's pitch black in there and full of spider webs. Freaky. After removing the hatch door, he peers inside and invites viewers to come on in. The room is hidden under the stairs of his parents' house. On a shelf in the room, he finds a whole set of heavy wrought iron horse-drawn wagon figurines. It looks old, nostalgic, and antique. Could be worth some money. He also finds a box of plastic serving trays, an old splicer for film, a decanter, a cooking pot in a basket, a sheet of paper that reads January 7th, 1979, with a list of various drinks. Assumedly, the box below is full of these drinks. He finds a box labeled with White Horse from Glasgow, Scotland, sealed shut, but he doesn't open it, otherwise his parents would have caught him. While he calls the discovery disappointing overall, in my opinion, a box full of mysteries is never disappointing. This home in Bethel, Washington has been overtaken by an evil force that refuses to go away. Paranormal experts from all over the world have been baffled by their findings. like this team for example. First, motion sensors repeatedly detect movement in areas where nothing is visible to the eye. What's especially weird is how the tripwires stop beeping whenever the investigators are near. Grunts, growls, and strange laughter echo throughout the house as well. Here's an example of the same laugh caught on multiple cameras.
You maybe direct it a little bit better.
All of the noises sound like they are the right distance away in each shot, so this is probably real. A woman haunts this old house, and these paranormal investigators are about to meet her. Published by Thiago Furacao, he and his partner are exploring this haunted home when they are greeted by this, their EMF meters going full throttle as they look back at the doorway terrified.
C'est vieux! Oh!
They follow the phantom woman into this room, but they find no one. Still, their EMF meter is full. There's a crack in the wall in this room, and Thiago instinctively heads towards it. Setting her camera there, she captures the woman again. Would you remain in this home with such a reclusive figure? Or is it time for these two to leave her to her ghost town? When a New York man's dog kept barking all night for no apparent reason, the dog's owner set out to investigate. He set up a CCTV camera to see if there was a reason behind his dog's behavior, and what he discovered explained everything. Posted to Reddit by UJ Hood, his friend's CCTV captured a figure shortly after 11 p.m. on January 29th, 2017. The figure appears to be carrying a flashlight, hurrying across the snow. What is so unusual about this capture is that, although the figure is walking upright on 2 feet, it isn't clear whether it's human or not. To further the mystery, the obscure being disappears halfway across the yard, although the flashlight continues to bop up and down against what may be a fence. The footage has some wondering whether the mysterious disappearance of the figure was simply a camera trick of blur and fade, a shadowy illusion, or something more sinister. Those leaning towards the latter note the figure's glowing eyes, strange spindly form, and weird movements. One user said that there's something strange going on, like why the background never gets obstructed after the figure passes by. Others suggest to follow the tracks, if there are any. What do you think this is? Whatever it is, it makes no sense. James Nees is a YouTuber who has been uploading for over 3 years now. Sometime in those 3 years, a 30-year-old man named Michael Lee becomes absolutely obsessed and begins soliciting him across a variety of social media platforms. The messages soon grow dark and talk about taking James from his home. He even sent messages to his mother saying, "I'm going to take your son," and other more creepy statements. Perhaps his most worrisome confession is when he admits that he has taken a 9-hour drive to their house more than one time. One day, James' parents see a man hanging around their house and call the police. He runs away, but the police set up a quick investigation. Investigators use James's phone to message Michael and convince him to come back to the house. When he comes back, he is taken into custody on the spot. Michael Lieb is eventually sentenced to probation with no time behind bars. Let me know if you think this is a fair and just verdict or not. A YouTuber named Lightwatch captured this strange sea creature sighting on GoPro while exploring the beach with his friends. The shapeless yellow creature looks somewhat like a starfish, except it is too light and thin. This thing is paper thin and seems to kick against the tide. The friends are smart enough not to handle the sea creature just in case it has some kind of deep sea toxins waiting to do them in. I have no idea what this weird thing is, but I wonder if it's part of something larger that got devoured. Give me your best guess as to what's been caught on tape. A live ceremony in France starts out normal enough until 7 minutes and 11 seconds when an object moves on its own like a ghost is about to throw it. The object levitates until the clergyman puts his hands down, at which point it stops. This happened on live TV in front of thousands, so someone tell me how it could be fake. Stranger still, a man in the audience claims to have seen a supernatural apparition in the dark doorway, a ghostly figure with a white face and hair who watches the ceremony from afar. The full version of this video has never been put online, to my knowledge, but this picture apparently shows the figure. I think there is a good chance that it is Photoshop, but it looks creepy and is worth mentioning. So if anyone out there is good with Photoshop, then let me know if this is a real picture, or if this scary face was edited. Worst nightmare is to be buried alive. This stunt will have you panicking, just like Ryan, published in May of 2021. Ryan Prunty's stunt saw him buried alive for 51 hours in an attempt to try and break Mr. Beast's world record. Well, in his buried box, Ryan starts panicking and screams the safe word. The team begins the task of unburying his coffin.
He called pineapple. Okay.
Which is filled with water and garbage. They aren't moving fast enough for Ryan's taste, and the screws keep getting stripped.
It's stripped, we're getting this off.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, Carter stripped both of them.
Look.
What do you mean, look? I'm in a box!
Finally, they managed to pull off the lid, and Ryan is freed, and I'm sure he was never happier to see the light of day again.
Oh my. You alright, buddy? Man, dude, you make a mess. We leave you down here for 25 hours and you leave it looking like this?
Captured at Hillview Manor in Newcastle, these paranormal explorers face their fears. Published by SCWC in October of 2019, the uploader calls this the scariest moment of their entire life. Although the video has no sound, the YouTuber says footsteps charged at them from down the hallway. The video shows their terrified reaction as they all look toward it. One of them even dives out of the way as the invisible spirit charges toward them. Noting that the footsteps ran between all of them, the uploader writes, "The walls and floor shook with every footstep this spirit took while running." While you don't see anything run past, this group's synced reaction seems more than genuine. What was in the Hill House with them? Luisito Comunica enters a graveyard in Argentina meant for millionaires to see what the afterlife is like for the rich. After he is taking a personal tour in a cemetery that's supposed to be empty, he twice fails to see what many later insist was a shadow person lurking nearby. This possible ghost sighting over his shoulder is giving a lot of people the creeps. I think it was weird at first, but now I think it could have just been another person taking a tour. This encounter at 9 minutes and 55 seconds is what has many people convinced that this is a ghost, but I think I have a different explanation. The first person is wearing all black and does look creepy, but if you look closely you can see a second person is walking with him, and therefore this is almost definitely just a couple taking an afternoon stroll and nothing more. This isn't paranormal in my opinion, but with almost 8 million views and new comments coming in all the time, I just wanted to analyze this video and put the rumors of this video to rest. Still, you should always watch out for strange people while on vacation, especially in a cemetery. It's late at night when a group of friends hear a woman screaming for help and decide to investigate inside the house. They enter and look around trying to figure out where the woman is. Soon the cameraman realizes their female friend is no longer with them, and as they head upstairs they see her getting dragged into a room. They try to go back downstairs, but there's someone blocking their path who appears to be possessed. With the group trapped inside the house, they are eventually each picked off by whatever was in that house. According to the footage, the group was never seen again. And though their reactions seem quite realistic, I've been unable to find more information on the incident, so therefore I cannot decide whether this is real or a skit. When you're driving home exhausted at the end of the long day, stay conscious and keep your eyes peeled. you might just see this. This supernatural clip was posted in April of 2020, claiming it's a real sighting on a haunted roadside. So let's take a look and see for ourselves. The clip shows someone driving down a dirt road in the near darkness. As they turn a corner, a dark figure barely visible can be seen crossing the path. On closer inspection, the figure looks long-limbed and big-eyed with a strangely shaped skull. It crosses slowly before sitting down at the side of the road. If human, what is this strange behavior? If not, any theories as to what this creature might be? Whether paranormal or some earthly figure, running into this near dusk might be enough to end your life. The UK explorer reaches the top floor of an abandoned house and finds himself standing outside of an old break room kitchen. He takes a single step inside and is met with the sound of old material crumbling beneath his feet.
Just going into one of the rooms that we found in a house that belonged to the factory. Nice kitchen. I did in fact fall. Luckily I didn't go right through.
He falls up to his waist and puts his arms out at the last second to save himself, shutting off his camera in the process. A newly formed hole in the brittle floor shows a massive drop, ending in piles of sharp-edged debris. Even if he did survive the fall, no one was around to help 4 miles in all directions. Number 11. May 17th, 2006 at 8:12 p.m. The Monterrey Witch of Mexico was caught on video flying just above the Mexican hills. She glides above the ground, just as you would imagine a witch to fly through the air, floating through the sky serenely. There's a good several yards between her and the hills below, with plenty of blue between. After the clear view of her dark shape against the skyline, her profile is shown as a white speck against the green hills as she skates across a canyon. The video goes on for a good 2 minutes, and it doesn't appear to be a hoax. As the being traverses the cliffs, the figure is tall and cylindrical, flying across a very windy canyon, which makes some UFO researchers believe that it can't be normal, it must be paranormal. Diana Perla Chapa, a UFO group leader and researcher from Monterrey and a popular Mexican TV host and UFO investigator, confirms this. Experts say that there is no way something could move so steadily because it's a very windy canyon, she said. Speaking at the Mutual UFO Network of Los Angeles conference, Ashley uses the reality ripple in her room and realizes one of her dolls is haunted. She is able to see a little ghost attached to the doll itself. In this still picture, you can see her blonde hair and also kind of see a scary face on the ghost girl as well. A haunting expression permanently locked in a scream. Ever caught something in a video that freaks you out beyond measure? Joey Shade did in 2018. Shade writes, I put my phone down on record to see what had been taking things out of my garage. I noticed a second video I did not record that showed something move the phone closer to the door, but saw what looks like a hand of some sort. Shade begs viewers to tell him what this freaky fingered creature is. It's hard to tell, but whatever that thing is, I think it's time to move. Whatever the case may be, that hand certainly looks menacing to say the least. This individual sees strange sightings in the sky, creepy stuff hidden in front of our eyes, as she puts it. It would be easy to dismiss her notions as outlandish, except for one thing. She can back up her claims. You see, Sheila has caught weird things on camera. She zooms into the trees to find a creepy pale face with round black eyes staring back at her from the treetops. This could be a balloon or something else stuck in the tree, but it's far from the only bizarre thing she's caught on camera near her house. A short time later, she finds this odd light not too far from where she saw the face. 2 other lights are spotted in the sky in an odd formation that soon blinks away. Together, they do seem to, once connected, possibly form the outer perimeter of a much larger disc-like object. What are these strange silent objects that glow and grow? The unexplained lights do not look like a helicopter and have no trail of a spotlight, so what could they be? A news reporter hears a train approach and gets an idea for a shot.
Here, let's do it with the train.
The idea is to have her walk into the shot and let the train pass by for dramatic effect. The only problem is she can't look over her shoulder because it'll ruin the shot. She has to guess how close the train is, and her estimations are a little off.
20 minutes after midnight. Oh!
She manages to take 2 steps and is barely off the tracks when the train flies by. This could have ended a lot differently, and there would have been absolutely nothing for the cameraman to do to stop it. This video stands as a clear warning to always verify who is at your door before you answer it. This Ring video was originally posted to TikTok by Wynn's Home Awareness. The video shows a man wearing a hood approaching the door of this residence. It's nighttime. He rings the doorbell, and when the homeowner opens it, the man immediately enters without asking. It's clear he is a stranger. When the homeowner tells the man he needs to leave, the intruder starts stammering incomprehensibly.
Who are you? Aaron right now. How are you? You need to leave. How far? Out there. What's the reason here?
The homeowner has to physically grab the man's arm and shove him outside. As he slams the door shut, the man starts pounding on it.
What? What's the stairs here? Come on, where are you going? What's the stairs here? Goodbye.
Even though he's now locked out, the intruder stands on the front step looking in. He tries the handle several times, just waiting there. What are this man's intentions? We can only guess, but I'd wager they aren't good. This camera caught movement where there was none, at least upon first glance. Redditor Lexi shares this mysterious video to the paranormal video subreddit. Keep an eye on the back bathroom. Did you see it? Something peeked in and out of the bathroom. And yet, according to the Redditor, no one is in there. Some in the comments think there's a squatter hanging out in the Redditor's ceiling, but to me, this looks pretty clearly like a shadow person. A YouTube channel called Sanders Fam has a bizarre sighting on their Tesla motion tracking equipment that they think is a paranormal ghost encounter. The dash icon displays a mysterious figure where none is to be found. Detecting invisible people is something their car has never done before, and is quite an odd coincidence considering they're passing through a cemetery at the time. It accurately detects 2 people a good distance away at 3 minutes and 39 seconds. It keeps happening on the same corner of the same block, the icon of someone riding a bike dashing away from them.
There it is.
They are getting creeped out and wonder what it is. That's when they realize around the corner is the final resting place of a YouTuber named Corey Lavery. They talk about him for a while, and then as they drive away,
There's nobody there.
Now he's walking that way.
something walks by his grave. Now that is certainly a strange series of events. What do you do when you find a mysterious mutant creature? Cook it up and eat it, of course. Well, at least that's the decision made by these individuals. Watch if you dare.
Oh, ya teman-teman. Tuh, oke, saya dapat ini Raja Jin. Ya, alhamdulillah, saya udah taklukkan.
They pull this strange looking guy out of a cave. It looks like a root vegetable with eyes. Then they cook it. Now it's time to eat.
harumnya. Oke teman-teman, lanjut makan. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Kita makan bagian perutnya dulu. Bismillah.
Some in the comments say it looks like a mandrake root, and it kind of does. But those eyes though, I don't think I could eat anything that was looking at me that way. Thank you so much for getting me to 50,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 60,000 subscribers next. Thank you.